Hello, Shabby Geekers. Welcome to episode 5. Episode 5 already. We've already had your spouses on. They've already been on. They've done it. Do you know what I mean? They're dab hands at top 5, those two. But tonight, I've got the lovely Stu and the lovely Martin. How are you, boys?
Hello.
Good, thanks, Shabby.
If you are new and you don't know who these two people are, the links for both their channels are in the description, which will be very hard for people not to know who these two beauties are. Do you know what I mean? So I was talking to Stu before, so I'll start with you first, Stu. You've recovered. Everything's fine. You're back to normal. Your dancing shoes are back on.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about dancing shoes, but yeah, no, I'm pretty much as recovered as I'm going to be, I think. Yeah, so it's first day back at work today, so yeah.
Yeah, because I was talking to Darren yesterday on TJC's game, and Darren turned around and said his feet are still hurting. He said, really hurting. Although what you said, Martin, on the Stu's was brilliant. So I'm sat there watching Stu's stream on Saturday, and you went, oh, I've never used that much Vaseline in my whole life. Thanks for that, Martin. I'll never use that much Vaseline. Does it feel weird? I mean, all that Vaseline and stuff, and it would to me. I'd be like, oh, you know.
It felt weird to start with, but I'll tell you what, you soon got over the weirdness when you realised you weren't going to get any blisters because of it. Because
that's
a lot of our fears, wasn't it, Stu, getting blisters?
So none of you's got any of that, any of the blisters or whatever. Cramp, I bet you got like a bitch. Man, yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah.
Well, brilliant, well done, and I enjoyed it. So, like I said, Stu did a stream on Saturday. So if you haven't watched it yet, watch all of that. You've also got a new music one out, haven't you? John Williams, you're doing now.
Well, yeah. So I started off about 4 episodes ago. I was just like, I do my own, like my top 5 favorite sort of pieces of movie music and stuff like that, and I got some nice feedback from it. So I just thought I'd do it. And awesome. I get copyright claims and stuff like that, but I'm not worried.
Welcome to Shabby's world. Won't you come on in? Honestly, you used to send me a thing, YouTube, saying, they can't on it. Now they're just sending me things saying, Shabby, you're taking the piss, mate. And I'm like, what? What's the problem? Do you know what I mean? It's never bothered me, stuff like that. So the way I work, it always makes me laugh because they'll go, you can't monetize it. All the monetization for this video will go to the people that own that music. And I'm like, well, great, give him that 0.03 cents.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Not going to make anything on it. But the thing is, that I put the John Williams one out today, and the things with John Williams, he's done so much quality music, hasn't he? For different films and stuff like that. It was really difficult to pick a top 5. So I thought, I won't go down everybody's like route of like Star Wars. I think I'll do something different. So I did that. And then Martin commented and said that he wouldn't mind jumping on and doing his top 5 with me. So I thought, well, okay, we can do that. See how that goes, and I might like start it off as like a series and stuff like that, and get other people on and give me.
Why not? Great idea. I could tell you mine straight away. My favorite theme, piece of music, movie music for all time, Leia's theme. Gets me every time. And especially the louder you play it. If you've got your headphones on and it's booming, it's just, it hits you in the right there. You're like, oh.
Do you play your music when you're at home really loud? Do you play it up?
I do, because where I live, it's all right for me. Do you know what I mean? But at night, I sometimes I've got some decent headphones, so I like putting them on and getting immersed into it, and that kind of thing. But
you think when Georgie's not here, so
I only do with Radiohead. My wife hates Radiohead, but I'm a massive fan of Radiohead. But I'll be playing it, and all you hear is, turn that shit off. She's not happy at all with it. Our Des is here. I wonder if tonight we'll get the story of Stu Martyn shitting behind a tree like Duncan in the last Games of Thrones show during their big walk. What did you do for stuff like that? Did you like, if you really had to go, you just went behind a tree or something? What did you do?
Well, I mean, I have quite an aversion to Portaloos, because I won't go into it now. But
Appa sang about them, didn't they? Portaloos.
Yeah. That's really why I don't like them, Shabby. But so I thankfully only need to pee the whole way around. But I just found the nearest tree, to be honest with you, several times during the trip. But
it's weird. The things like that you don't think about, do you? Do you know what I mean? No. It's like when you said about, again, talking to Darren yesterday, saying he's changed his shoes 3 times and changed his socks and all that. Yeah. I would never think. I'd just put on my old knackered trainers and 20 minutes in, I'm like, no, bollocks to that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he certainly went prepared down, didn't he? Bless him. But,
did you ever think of quitting, Martin? Did you ever think, you know what?
There was like an hour, about kilometer 22, where I got this little thing in my head where my feet were hurting, and I thought I just couldn't get out of my head that they were going to keep hurting even more and more if I kept going. But what I said to you about before we came on about the camaraderie of everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I had 2 top blokes there with me who were like, no, come on, Martin, you know, dig deep. And after an hour, I was back on it. It was just a momentary sort of, I don't know, fear.
You just hated Stu for an hour. That was it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and after that, you were fine. Do you know what I mean?
But I think it was Scott who reminded me that if I didn't finish, I would be the only one out of the 4 of us that didn't get a medal. So that was all I needed to hear. I was going to crawl over that line if I had to, because there was absolutely no way I could ever show my face ever again.
Rocky music in your ear. Loving it. Right, so come on, and we look at these 3 3/4 inch tat. Stu might save the day with some proper scale figures. What he's talking about and what you're in now is this. So I tell you what. I tell you, my little lad loved these videos as well. I mean, you kept this. I mean, I know your missus said something to me about an extension, but I didn't know it was going to be this. Did you know, Stu? Did you know this was happening?
No, I didn't know at all.
Dark horses kept that quiet from all lads. Do you know what I mean?
Stu came to visit it when it was looking like picture on the right.
But
yeah, I mean, I wasn't gonna video it or anything. I was just gonna do it, and it was Adam, my cousin Adam, who said, no, you should document it. You should, you know, turn it into a couple of videos. And so, yeah.
It was very well done as well, mate. It was really well done. I really enjoyed it, yeah.
I really, do you know, it's been really nice hearing that, because I must have spent 3 weeks editing each video. I mean, each video had about 12 to 15 drafts. So I really tried to like really work hard on them. So yeah, it's been a labour of love, but
it looks fun. It looks absolutely. See, I'm all for shit like this. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a person, because I know sometimes people can comment and this and that, and so I don't get jealous of my friends. I always get positive, like, wow, that's awesome. And I just think what you've done, it just looks such, and you've got so much space for all, because that's the problem. You fill up a room, don't you? And you do a new room, and then you realise you've got no space for anything. Do you know what I mean? But you've got enough room there. You could put islands there. It's for anyone who hasn't watched these videos. Here they are. They're on a long time ago's channel, and they're fantastic. They're absolutely fantastic. I loved them both. Dead interesting the way you did it. So,
no, I appreciate that, Shabby. No, thank you.
Big fan.
Yeah, and what I would say as well, Martin, is I think you've got enough love and support within the group and the family and stuff like that, not to take any notice of the absolute.
You're always going to get. I don't understand that, Stu.
And stuff like that.
No,
I mean, he's designed a room specifically for like collecting, so he's obviously going to get professional advice on how to go about it and how to get it done and stuff like that. And the guys that built it aren't daft. They've built it exactly how Martin's wanted it, with the air conditioning and this, that, and the other. So
I think it looks absolutely brilliant what they've done. Yeah, I mean, they've done a cracking job. The funniest thing is, well, it's so weird, the timing of it, because next year, there's 2 versions for me next year. I've gone into another room now, but I've got a wife who will not let me take over this house. When we talked to Steph about another room, and she's like, oh, yeah. My wife will be like, no, but you can forget it. He's out. You know what I mean? Well, there's an old army barracks on my land. It's massive. It's a really big, and it used to be in the 1920s. Fort Bragg is around the corner from us, and that used to be an extra army barracks. It's got showers in and all that sort of stuff. So there's 2 things I can either do. I can either A, restore that and get that up and running and so forth, or B, build one on the back of my land. You see what I mean? So when you made your video, I thought, oh, this is awesome, because it gives me the idea now of how to do it. And so the way I'm going to work it out is what is cheaper, because restoring it might be the same price as getting a brand new one. Do you see what I mean? Because, and you did it as well, going through, you've got to put your internet in there, you've got to put your aircon in there, you've got to put the lights in there and so forth. What was the hardest part of it?
Well, I mean, just to go back a few years, Steph and I, you would have seen at the beginning of the video, if you watched it, it was just like a bit of crappy, grass and a bit of old patio at the back. And on the other side of that fence is quite a busy road, and we can hear it from the house. So although it wasn't going to ever get rid of the noise completely, we were always going to put something back there. And for years, we discussed what it was going to be. And then we decided to perhaps put an extension on the back. At this point, it wasn't any thought of it being a toy room. So we got quotes in and stuff, and we were going to have a proper brick built extension. And, it was close to how much it would have cost to actually build a house. That's how ridiculous it was. So we dropped the whole idea completely. And then someone mentioned to us garden rooms, a timber framed garden room, because they're quite popular at the moment over here. You see them in quite a lot of people's gardens and stuff now. It's sort of like a place they can go and hang out with, like man cave, that sort of thing. I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube about them, and so we got some quotes for that, and it was a fraction, having a timber framed building, absolute fraction of what it would have cost to have a brick built building. So that was the biggest hurdle, really, was trying to find a cheap way of doing it, because the other stuff kind of all just fell into place. We found the really good builders that some had worked for someone else.
Did they have no problem with you filming it and all that sort of stuff?
No, well, that was great. You see, I did them a deal. I said, if you let me film you, I'll create a promotional video for you using that footage that you can put on your website. So I created them for free, a promotional video that they now have on their website.
What a great idea!
What they do. So yeah, and I also joked that he also asked if they could put the first part of the build video on YouTube on there as well. And I said to them, yeah, you can do, but I want 5% of every single building you sell. But they weren't having any of that, unfortunately.
Like 3%. I just think it looks fantastic. I think we'd all have that. I mean, we'd love to have the opportunity to do something like that. And I just think, that your love for this stuff and, to build something like that is well impressive. But I 100% agree with our Stu. Any person that, Chris Mira, who's here, Jason Hayes, once told me, don't make videos for people that don't watch them, make it for people that do. Which means, it's funny, you get 500 beautiful comments and you always get one dickhead. But we always seem to remember the dickhead, don't we? Do you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I don't usually care about things. There was one guy who was like, I'm going to find out where you live. And that kind of just like, that sort of threw me.
That was me.
Bit, Yeah.
That was me. And it wasn't about your toys. My wife throws me out. You know what I mean?
But yeah, it's fine. You're all right. You're 100% right. And as Stu quite rightly said, every single person like in this family of ours has been so supportive of it, and I can't thank everybody enough. Because,
you're a beautiful man, my friend. Beautiful man. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just made up for you. Now, here's the real question. Does that mean Steph gets the old room? Is that what it is?
Well, I think in the comments, I did spot in the corner of my eye that she's watching, but she's listening as well because she's currently on IKEA website working out, those plans to for the old room. So yeah, I think she's definitely going to have that as her room.
I tell you what, Martin, I don't fancy your job filling all those holes in that other room where those shelves to be.
We came up with a cunning plan, Stu. If we had that furniture that fits like slots into the wall. It has like a backboard to it, so you literally just cover up the holes, and you never even know they were there. So
you'd think with all the good weather we've had, Georgia would be up to date with the washing, and Stu wouldn't have to wear one of her t-shirts.
Right, this is coming out to you guys. This is coming out to Augusta.
I used to think to myself, me and Tez, we usually get, and then you came along and you get it worse than any of us. Do you know what I mean? It just goes to show, though, mate, what a great sport you are. Like it's water for ducks back, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant.
It's like today. So I went back to work today, and there's this girl, and she was chatting and stuff like that, and talking about getting married, and I know the situation like with her dad, and she hasn't seen her dad for years and stuff like that. So I said, oh, well, I don't mind. If I'm available, I'd walk you down the aisle. And she turned around and said to me, no, you were right, because you'd only walk me halfway, then your feet would start caking. I don't believe it, so I'm getting it to work as well.
And then she turned around to her workmates and winked like, got it. You know what I mean? Oh, brilliant. Connor Fuller, right here, has put Stu's top 5 John Williams tracks is right there. So if you'd like to support our Stu and watch that, there it is. Let's see who else is here before I, can't make out Shabby's hat today. North Face today. I put a picture up. I was counting all my hats up, and I've got about 70 of them. It's stupid. I just keep buying them every time. I think because they're cheap in America, they're not expensive. They're like, I think the most expensive I spent for a hat is like 40 quid. That's it. Do you know what I mean? So they're just that easy to get hold of. Chocolate Chip Wookie has arrived. Hello, Chocolate Chip. Nice to see you. Scott Whitehouse says, evening, Shabby, Martin and Stu, and all in the chat. Great to see fellow Skywalkers on tonight. Be sure to have some interesting top 5s. Your top 5s are really good, and we'll go into your top 5s in a bit. I'm very intrigued. And one of the things I think I wrote to you, Martin, and said, one of the things I've enjoyed about this season's top 5 is the difference. Is that people have really put some thought into it. And so how did you two come up with your top 5s without giving anything away?
Martin, after you.
Oh, well, I spent about an hour yesterday. I put a little table just down here, and I had some toys on it. I was like, I'll put some that. Oh yeah, pick that. Oh, maybe that. And I just sat there and I thought, everybody's probably seen a lot of this stuff already. So I completely put all that back and came up with something completely different.
Yeah.
That in a way could be toy related, and certain things I want to collect and have collected in the past and still have now. But I wanted to do something different, and Des's last week was a bit of an inspiration for me, and Andy as well. His was a little bit different, so I hope it's all right. It's just a matter of opinion, but
no, I agree with you though, because you know what it's like. So when you do streams, Stu, you do worry sometimes, don't you? Like, oh, I hope it's not going to be the same shtick over and so when people come on and show something different, or you see a part of someone that you've watched for years, and you find out something else about them, what they collect. I find that fascinating, don't you, Stu?
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like my childhood toy memories and stuff like that, or my collecting life. It was great that when we had people on that were showing different stuff, like on a week.
I've watched every one of those. Your childhood memories. I love them. I think they're so well done.
They're pretty cool. I enjoy doing it, and I'm just interested because we had the Steph and Zoe on back to back a few weeks ago, and just to hear them talk about their childhood toys and stuff like that, and learning something new, which is I always find quite interesting as well.
I agree.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It was so funny. I was talking to Steph about it when she was on Top 5, so we're watching her on it, right? And you can't find that thing. I think I said to Steph, everyone were all going, Stu, it's there, losing the temper. And you're like, where is it?
Because the colour was the thing is, it was like it was an orangey colour against a yellow, or yellow against an orange, and I couldn't really see it. And
it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
Then she goes on about a dog in a tub, and I'm like, what dog in a tub?
Martin's full room tour. The lovely Connor has also presented that, so that is on YouTube. Watch them both. They're absolutely fantastic. Let's have a look. Let's get down here a bit. Lady Steph saying hello. Cat Knight saying hello. Love a good build video, and those were awesome. They are. I think the majority of us, we loved it. Thought really interesting. Scuba as well, because Scuba wrote to me and said, you put two of these things together. He loves building stuff. He loves toys.
He said that to me. Yeah.
Oh, there you are. So we've already sorry about that, Jonathan. I'm a bit behind for that, but we've discussed that. Best bit of Martin's videos was the cameo by Steph. I fast forward that bit. Really the builders didn't mind at all. They asked for footage for their website. I think that was a really good idea. What a nice thing. I bet they were made up with that as well.
He was over the moon when I sent him the final version of it. So yeah, worked out well.
Still to come, an X-wing bed that comes out of the floor. Absolutely brilliant. Look at that awesome back wall of TVC. And that sign is really nice. Yeah, that you got made. Is that someone local or someone online that you met? Or
that is a friend of my cousin Adam's. He made it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've been inundated with people asking for it. So.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I might have got him some work. Let's put it that way.
Watch him driving a Ferrari next time you see him. Martin's mates like that. Oh, it just looks great. APD says everything about that room video was excellent. I know this world. I suppose him and Des are looking at it. Oh, they could have done that.
Do you mind, Shabby, if I just shout out Des? Because
of course you can.
Every single day, when the builders left, I was in there and I was taking pictures and I'd send them to Des because I'm one of the life's great warriors.
Yeah, but with him leaning, are you sure that was the right thing to do? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. But he wasn't leaning on anything here, so it was all good. But he honestly, I was like worried about something. I'd text him with picture and a video and stuff, and he'd put my mind at rest every single day during the build. So I just want to say big thanks to Des because what a great guy. I mean, honestly, he knows his stuff as well. I'll tell you.
He does. Yeah, he does. Yeah, lovely. Do the majority of the construction yourself. You'll save a ton of cash. Could you have done it yourself?
I wouldn't have been able to do it myself. I mean, the inside I did absolutely everything myself, but I wouldn't have been able. I wouldn't have had the knowledge.
Well, I'm going to try and do all mine myself next year. But you watch, it look like the house from The Jerk. Do you remember it was all over the place? And it's like a shabby shack. Oh, brilliant! Here we go. Martin's built his website. Absolutely brilliant. Martin, I will pop round and do the filling, mate. There you see them all. this is why we're friends with all these, aren't we? Just to see what we can get. Des on holiday. Can you build us a shed over there, Des? Oh. Look at that. Job sorted. Everyone's been dead nice to you both about it. Love a good baseball. I do. I don't know what. I never wore them in England because I was in the suit trade, so I was always in formal wear. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's I think I know why they wear them in the States because it is so hard. It's just the shade. Do you see what I mean? Yeah. And you know what it's like being a collector, both of you. You get impulsive, don't you? And that's it. You're just like, oh, I'll buy another. Then I'll buy another. So every time I go out, I just buy one. I try my wife with me mental. I didn't know Martin liked ska. They asked us, Des. Ska music. You know, hi, Mr. B. Nice to see you. Hit that like button. I appreciate that. I really do. Let's have a look. Let's get down here a bit. Delvian's here. Hi, Delves. Nice to see you. It was all over Facebook forums this morning about that sign.
Yeah, I found I got told about it. And I think there was like 28 people. One guy even started talking about doing a crowdfund for one. So yeah, I've given all it to Adam's.
Was it pricey? You don't have to tell us the price, none of our business. But was it? Were you happy with the price? Because it looks very well made. The way it lights up, it looks awesome.
It was definitely mates rates for me. Let's put it that way. Because he's a good friend. He's like one of Adam's best friends.
Oh right, so look, he's well in the know. He needs to listen to this. Do you know what I mean? Toy Mafia. It's not Scott Whitehouse. It's bloody Martin. Do you know what I mean? Oh, let's have a look. Went to see Grogu and ended up with a free Devil's Wear Prada bag. Very nice, George. Oh, well, I bet it goes lovely with your skirt, that pal. I bet it looks really nice. You know what I mean? Talking about Mando and Grogu, you both seen it. What did you think? See, I'm starting to do that now. But now I've come away from it. You know, because I enjoyed it. It
was an enjoyable movie. It was an enjoyable movie, but some of the things in there, I just turned to Georgie and I thought, "What?" I just shook my head. I was like, I couldn't believe it. And I've been one of my biggest bugbears of Star Wars is it's so flipping close to real life events on Earth and stuff like that. It shouldn't be like that. No. So they started off with the huts. I'm going to spoiler alert. So
if you haven't seen it now, do you know what I mean?
All Huttese at the beginning with all the subtitles. I'm thinking, fantastic, brilliant. They get to Rota. Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm a man, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not my dad, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, and I was like, what is this? What the hell have they done? And that for me ruined it. It's like, yeah, brilliant. It just absolute pants that bit. So I didn't like that bit.
It was a bit. I don't know. Right. It was right. It's very difficult for me because I went to see it and me and G-Force went on a hot date. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to tell what happened later on, but I did get lucky. But anyway, went to see it and it was packed full of kids. There was loads of kids there.
Yeah.
So every time a Grogu or those little Babu things came on and whatever, they were loving these kids. And I turned to G-Force in the cinema and said, I think sometimes that's what we forget, being 40s and 50s, that we're always pissing and moaning. But I think I've always said the pissing and moaning comes from the passion of it that we love and so forth. But now I've seen it, I thought, yeah, it was all right. Is it going to be in my top 5, 6 Star Wars movies? Not a chance. No. Do you know what I mean? Because it felt to me like a bit of just a filler, wasn't it? It's like when he took the helmet off and nothing was said about it and I'm like, what about you, Marty?
Okay, yeah. Now you both of you jump in and stop me.
No.
Now, I enjoyed the action. I thought the action was very good. I thought it was a definite 6 out of 10 for me. That's the best I could give it. But there were several things I just couldn't forgive, like the electronic music. What was that about?
Oh,
I mean, no, absolutely not. Rota the Hutt is the biggest whiny bitch I've ever known in Star Wars. The worst Star Wars character. Probably
feelings. It's just all feelings on the whole.
Yeah, it's like therapy sessions with Rota the Hutt. I was getting really, really angry with that character. And then there's a scene where he rolls in the sand as a hut, and it just like a giant turd, giant turd rolling in the sand.
That's what I said. They like giant turds rolling around, don't they?
Like giant turds, everyone. Giant turds, they are.
There's a couple of things. Like there was 20 minutes near the end of the film where it just nothing happened. Where Grogu was just going backwards and forwards, and the bit where he's trying to force push him into the thing, and he bangs his head. Not funny. Not funny at all. It wasn't funny the first time, and it wasn't funny the 6th time.
Yeah.
The Grogu Rambo scene where he like gets kitted up. This is Star Wars. This isn't like Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sorry, but that
was a bit like Hot Shots, wasn't it? The way he went like that with his yeah.
I mean, the Jarek fight, the gladiator fight, I actually got goosebumps during that scene. I thought that was great. I really enjoyed that. So it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't more than a 6 out of 10 for me. And the biggest crime of any film, Star Wars film, for me is it, especially this one that's come out and all the recent ones. Sorry. Is the magic. There's no magic there. I didn't come out of that film feeling the magic of Star Wars had just happened. There was nothing that made me come out and go, oh, so I reckon this could happen in the future and this could happen. Oh, and that could mean that. There was none of that. It was a standalone.
100% agree with you. That's the one. That's what me and G-Force were talking about on the way home. There was nothing like, well, what's next? It just it was like, in a way, it was like Star Wars on the cheap, wasn't it? Really? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The one. Go on, Stu.
There's a couple of standout bits. I liked seeing the Int 4. That was one of the kind of mini rigs.
That was cool.
So we've never seen that in Star Wars before. So the first time we seen that, so I thought that was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I liked Embo live action. I thought he was pretty cool. I thought
he
was neat. What else did I like?
I tell you what it was for me. The part in the middle with Grogu, that went on for ages.
Yeah.
You know, I liked it the way they did it and so forth. We went to see that reptile, you know, with stole the fishes or whatever. But the quietness went on for about. And I remember saying again to G-Force, it's gone on a bit. This, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It was like 20 minutes of pointlessness. There was no need for him to go and meet that guy at all. He could have just, you know, they could have just flashed straight to the next scene. It was just that's the difference. So look at Zoe, she liked the music, and then Jonathan said wasn't impressed with the non-Mando music. The force push thing was hilarious, says Colin. Here we go. This is what I mean. This was just a filler for Masters of the Universe, wasn't it? Really, Mando Dumbo 2 night. Hey, VTR, lovely to see you, pal. I watched you last night. Chasing 80s have made an awesome video on Harlem, on the Amsterdam video. And I saw Adam in there, and I saw VTR. That place, honestly, it's like, and the prices. I heard VTR said there was 7 Big Jim's cats there, and I saw one of them, and on the price I got, it was €55. I can't get one for less than $120 over it, and it's finding it over it. I was like, oh. I got a pop-up lightsaber R2D2 for €5 last year.
I mean, what a great! I tell you what, if I ever came back, I'd definitely go to that one. Definitely.
Well, you went last year, didn't you, Martin?
I did, yeah, and it was by Chris Miwa was there towards the end of the toy fair, and he was saying that they just didn't want to take anything home with them, so they were literally knocking like 65-70% off what they were charging at the beginning of the toy fair just to get rid of it, all this GI Joe stuff. So, you know, if you're a GI Joe collector, then, you know, it was a very good day for a lot of people.
Yeah, we did a stream on it last year, didn't we? Do you remember? I played the tulips from Amsterdam. I had made all the pictures of you lot in the red light district and smoking joints and all. I that little clog outfit. Do you remember in a tulip field? It was brilliant. That was one of the best ones. It was a Star Wars movie. It felt like a Star Wars movie. A lot to like and a lot not to like. And apart from the little and back parts, I think Mando season 3 was a better story and action-wise than this movie. What do you think to that, boys?
I think I agree with that, actually, Jonathan. Absolutely, because you take the Lizzo stuff out, and while it wasn't as strong as the first 2 seasons, it was. I
mean, there was a lot of Easter eggs, weren't there? If you've watched the Clone Wars, there was a lot of Easter eggs going back to the Clone Wars, which that was pretty cool. So that wasn't too bad. But other than that, I'd probably give it a 5.
Would you agree with that, Pierre? Did you feel that 40% of the film was already shown with the trailers?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah,
that is a good, fair point. It was a simple story, and like I said, I think coming out now, and like I said, when you see it, it's nice to see a Star Wars movie back. I'll be honest, but I think I'd give it around a 6. Do you know? Do you know what I mean? I think I'm just not used to Star Wars being. I'm used to it being. Boom! Do you know what I mean? It's like epic, and I've been saying since day one. Really, I just had that feeling that knowing what's been going on for the past 7 years without a movie, knowing what people have said and people have done, I would have come out swinging. I would have come out. And,
I'm surprised they didn't do that. I'm surprised they went down this route. To be honest with you,
I'm surprised.
I was thinking that there was going to be some sort of big moment or twist or something, and I leant over to Steph about 30 minutes into the movie and said, Rot of the Hutt, he's saying that he's not interested in taking over from his father and stuff. I bet you by the end of the film, we find out this whole plot was him actually controlling everything, and he takes over from him. And of course, that didn't happen. He was a whiny bitch. So, yeah.
Look at him just talking about winding, twisting the knife. And look at that. Shabby picked up a big Jim Tiger in cage. Oh, yeah. When you went, oh, there's 7 of them, I was ready to go, Shabby. Do you know what I mean? When you did. He's saying hello. Let's have a look for me, Victor. The best thing is that even 5 out of 10 Star Wars movie is still a fun movie. Yeah, but it's funny that because I know everyone's taking the piss online. It was fun and so forth. Do you ever think we'll get something like this again? Because I know you two have done your Star Wars streams and I know you do your Star Wars stuff and so forth, but the reason I wanted to show this, because this is the last time that I just lost it. I remember it was 3 o'clock in the morning when they showed it. And this was, and it was funny as well, because obviously we'd had 2 sequels, we'd had this, we'd had that, everyone was, and then you saw this. And what pissed me off in a way about this was, this is what they can do. They can, and it's not the way this was put together with R2 coming in it and this and that. And it's fan service, but it's the way it was done. Do you think we'll ever see something like this again?
There's always that hope, and I know Martin's big on the hope with Star Wars and stuff. There is always that hope, and I remember watching this, and me and Georgie were just blown away. And then you roll the end credits, and then you get that bit at the end with the Book of Boba Fett, and the way that sort of like, you think, oh, wow, this is going to be absolutely superb. Yeah. And then they went and farted that out do you know what I mean? It was just absolute rubbish, that Book of Boba Fett. So I don't think we get anything as good as this, but there is the hope. I do the hope.
What about you, Martin? What do you think?
I'm the eternal optimist with Star Wars. I genuinely am. I'm also sometimes a bit of an apologist for some of the Disney stuff. And I can't help it because I love it so much. It's Star Wars is the biggest thing, always has been. And I genuinely think we might see something special in season 2 of Ahsoka, if the rumors are to be believed. And I also think that they're going to do something after season 2 of Ahsoka, which is going to be sort of a culmination of all of the different shows they've done over the last 5 years, which could also be something special. And the reason that makes me more hopeful than I would have been a couple of years ago is that now perhaps we haven't got Kathleen Kennedy there anymore. We've got, and I know a lot of people are not big fans of Dave Filoni, but I've always been a big fan of his. The Clone Wars will forever be one of my favorite Star Wars things. And he does understand Star Wars. You just have to hope that he can sort of stand up to those corporates who want to just sell toys and that sort of thing. But I think I like to think yes, we will see something like that. And I genuinely believe that we will see Luke, Han, and Leia together again one more time in the next 5 years. Yeah. I genuinely believe that.
Steph says one can only hope. PTR says every current Star Wars movie should be called A New Hope. Having Star Wars characters in Star Wars show movies not considered fan service. Well, I've always laughed at that when people say, "Oh, it's just fan service." I'm like, "Well, what do you, of course, what more do you want?"
Yeah, that finale of Mandalorian season 2 was definitely fan service in the biggest sense of the word. But that was the ideal place to have okay, that's drawn a line under that. We've ended that. But it's just the constant, let's milk it for as much as we can. And they're just turning out tripe. The storylines haven't been great. I mean, Book of Boba Fett, absolute rubbish. Yeah. Mandalorian season 3, not great at all. And you just think it kind of ruins it and it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. So
I think animation at the moment is where it's at.
Really. Maul was great. I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was really good. But Filoni needs to stop sticking his. Go on, Martin. I'm sorry.
No, sorry, Shabby. Go on.
No, you go. It's your job tonight.
I think the thing is that you take Maul and you compare it to the Mandalorian and Grogu. It was an animated show that had a fraction of the money spent on it, but I felt the magic of Star Wars in that show. And I didn't feel the magic of Star Wars in the Mando and Grogu. So I mean, I think that says it all, really, that they can do that in animation, but they can't do it in live action. It's a bit.
Thought I would put this Mando movie with Skeleton Crew, and what I mean by that is I loved Skeleton. I thought it was great, but it wasn't Star Wars. There's nothing in Skeleton Crew that made me go, oh, do you know what I mean? Star Wars. But I enjoyed it for what it was. And I think that's movies. I enjoyed it, but for what it was. Do you know what I mean? It's the thing about it, it's not made me come out and, right, we'll all do a stream on The Mandalorian and Grogu. Not really. Do you know what I mean? We'll talk about it, like I say, on a little thing here and there, but I can't see me doing something like that. And he's Jonathan says here, Filoni needs to stop sticking his characters into everything at the expanse of the story, in my opinion. He has good ideas, man, but someone else needs to be in charge. I've always said that. I said as soon as Kennedy goes, put someone fresh in, like they do with football. Do you know what I mean?
Wasn't it Jon Favreau that did Mandalorian and Grogu?
Yeah, but he wrote it, didn't he? Filoni wrote half of it.
There was 3 writers for it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's having Stu on this live stream considered. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, considered live stream. A bit of Skeleton Crew was seeing a B-wing reach its full potential. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I enjoyed Skeleton Crew, but yeah. So I think when we went to see it, we all thought, yeah, it was all right and so forth. There's nothing really to slag off about it, but it doesn't. I'm not phoning the Star Wars lads going, holy shit, you've got to go, you know. And here's another thing too that's weird. We getting dead past. Here's another thing that was weird. When you talk to our lads, because the majority of us were all diehard Star Wars, aren't we? We love it. And everyone's like, oh, I'll see it on Friday. I'll see it Sunday. I'll see it. Yeah. Which I found weird, Martin and Stu, because usually when a Star Wars, you've bought you are there. You don't want to get spoiled. Absolutely. You don't want to do that. You're there. Yeah. And I get the sense of that off anybody. I was like, oh, I'll go and see it this weekend, or I'll take my kids or whatever. Did you do this? Were you rushed to see it?
We went Friday afternoon, so I finished work at 2:15. So me and Georgie went in the afternoon. I think we got about 3-4 o'clock showing, so we went to go and see it then. And I wanted to see it because I was hoping that I get to talk about it with Martin, or at least Darren. But Darren hadn't seen it, and I was like, for crying out loud, we get to talk about other stuff.
Yeah. But what about you, Martin? When did you see it? Saturday, was it? Or
no, I went to the first showing on the first day.
You went to the first showing?
Yeah, it's a tradition for me. It doesn't matter whether it's a re-release of Return the Jedi or a brand new movie. I'll always go because you know I don't. The thing is, in the world we live in today, everything is spoiled so quickly, and I like to go into these things without having looked at Instagram and someone's completely like put the whole plot in a picture. So I went and saw it, and I won't be going to see it a second time though, which is the first time I've ever seen a Star Wars film and not seen it more than once.
Yeah, I agree with that too. It's just funny because I think the majority of us would be the same as you are, Martin, where we go, first showing, and then it's like I said, because I know our friend Oppie saw it early, but he was like, I can't wait for you all to see it. But it felt to me like the majority of us weren't rushing out to do it, Stu. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll see it when I see it, Because my wife said straight away she don't want to see it, which is weird because she goes through all the Star Wars films, but she's like, I'm not interested. Do you know what I mean? So, and she said it's because she doesn't watch the TV show. And you don't really have to watch the TV show for this, though, do you? Do you not think?
No. It was just like Mike said, standalone.
Filoni needs to stop putting him. That put me off a bit as well when you saw him, Doug Chang, Deborah Chow, and I was like, oh god, brilliant! Oh, cameos. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Then they did that in George Lucas's Star Wars, didn't they? They've had especially the prequels with episode 3.
Yeah,
the casting, didn't they?
I'd agree with that, Stu. Wouldn't you? Gonna wait till it's streamed. You don't have to rush to the cinema. Yeah, I'm the same as GeForce. Didn't mind the film; it was fine. That's the problem, though. GeForce, Star Wars shouldn't be. I think that's the way that we've all been brought up, though, isn't it? I mean, it used to be an epic. This was a thing you couldn't miss. This was a thing that beat everything else. You know what I mean? Films will come up and go, but you go, wow, Star Wars. I'm more looking forward to Masters.
That's why I wasn't a big fan of the Skeleton Crew, because it was everything but Star Wars.
I agree with that as well, buddy. Yeah. I can't imagine it's going to be long. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think as well, whenever a Star Wars film, even you could argue the sequel trilogy, every film that's ever come out before has had an aura about it. It's a Star Wars movie. Even if you didn't like The Last Jedi, you were always going to go and see The Rise of Skywalker because you thought
I didn't see it.
You could pull it back. It could pull it back, and it had that aura. I think it died with that film for me. Really. Yeah,
I was so mad with The Last Jedi. I was so mad. I just couldn't, and I just knew. I thought they ain't going to change it. Do you know what I mean? Especially coming after the Maul show, which was amazing. Mando movie hit like a damp squid. Yeah, the more it was good. I enjoyed what was it called, Lawson, or what was it called? What was he
Sorry,
called?
Dawson, yeah,
Copper.
yeah.
I'd watch a show on him in Two Boots. I just thought it was brilliant. Great characters. My missus and daughters came with me. Their opinion was it wasn't as shite as what we thought it would be. And he wants to do top fart noises that would clear the room. Brilliant. Well, anyway, let's get to your top 5. Here's your honourable mentions. The thing with YouTube beauties, man, you start talking about Star Wars, we've been here for about 6 hours. You know what I mean? We've done it longer than that walk, you know. But anyway, top 5 is right here. Honourable mentions, and first honourable mention is R. Martin's, and it's this.
Yeah, I've decided to do my top 5 favourite TV shows, and then to supplement that, what toy lines came out with them, if any did, because some of them didn't. But
Right.
my honourable mention is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I absolutely love this show. All of these shows I've picked are ones I watch on a rotating basis. You know, I'll if I'm bored, I'll stick one of these on. I think it was 97 it started. I didn't really start watching it until about 2001, and it was back in, I think it was my first ever original binge watch. I watched like the first 5 seasons.
I don't think I've ever seen an episode of it, mate. I've never seen it.
Honestly, for its time, I mean, let's be honest. You watch it now, it does not stand up in terms of special effects and stuff, but the humor in it was brilliant. The characters in it were brilliantly written. I know a lot of people don't like Joss Whedon. I'm a huge fan of Joss Whedon's stuff, whether it be Firefly, Buffy, Angel, you name it, whatever he's done, I've always enjoyed his style.
Yeah, he did the same thing as JJ, didn't he? But he came from the TV world, didn't he?
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah. And then, I mean, he did well enough for them to give him 2 Avengers movies. So obviously he's we're not allowed to talk about him anymore. But yeah, I love this show so much. I mean, it for its time, it was one of those first ever TV shows that sort of ditched the episode of the week format. Well, of course it did have episodes of the week, but it had a storyline that ran through every season. So every episode would kind of, have an arc to the whole season, and then the arcs would build up over all the 7 seasons. So by the 7th season, you'd have an overarching. Is that what
it ran? 7 seasons, Buffy? Yeah.
7 seasons, yeah.
And is it exactly what it says on the tin? She's a vampire slayer. So every week she'd kill a vampire or something.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's really difficult to explain if you haven't seen it, but it's more about the characters and the writing in the show for me. It's personally, it's hilarious. But it also had a couple of episodes that I just wanted to mention as well, that again for its time, in the 90s, early 2000s, this was the sort of thing you'd never see on TV. The first episode was called Hush, and basically the entire episode was everybody in that episode lost their voice. They couldn't talk, so it was basically a 40-minute episode of silence. But they managed to tell a story in 44 minutes without any dialogue whatsoever. Not only was the story fantastic, quite scary as well for a TV show. I'm sure for younger kids, not me, obviously. And it was bloody hilarious as well. It's absolutely fantastic episode.
And now I know where the idea though comes from, because people write to me about ZSR and said, "Could you do it without any talking in it?" But
if anyone said to me, Martin, what episode should I watch? To see if I like it, I would say Hush is the episode to watch. But the other episode I wanted to bring up is an episode called Once More with Feeling, and it's a musical episode. And now all TV shows, they have a musical episode, don't they? It's brand new show, it's got to have a musical episode. Yeah. Well, Buffy was the first, as far as I'm aware, TV episode to do this, and it was. I'm not a big musical guy. I've never been to a musical. I don't watch musicals, but it was absolutely fantastic. Honestly, I smile every time I think about that episode, because I don't know how they managed to do it, but they wrote songs for 45-minute episode of television that moved the story on. It was just incredible. If you're not into musicals, you probably wouldn't like it. But then saying that, I'm not, and I really enjoyed it. that's you know, that's what I mean. I could go on. I could list you episode after episode.
I love your passion, mate. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Zoe says, "I've only just started to watch Buffy. I'm on series 2 at the moment, enjoying it." So Zoe's enjoying it.
Season 3 is when it really starts to get going, Zoe. So yeah.
Jono says it was such an amazing show back in the day. Same with Angel. Did you watch it, Stu? Buffy? Did you?
No. I thought it was for girls.
Well, I'd like to remind everybody that on Shabby Stu's opinions and Stu's own, and it was on Fridays at 8 p.m. on Fridays. Then Angel at 9 o'clock. Was Angel like a completely different show to this, or did it tie in?
It tied in sometimes. I mean, he originated on Buffy, so they gave him his own spin-off show. It was a lot darker, I'd say. It was, you know, the first season was like an 18 certificate.
Right.
Theory, so it was a lot darker, but again they kept the humor in it, and it's the kind of thing that if you didn't like Joss Whedon's humor, you probably wouldn't like the show. But quality.
Look at this. Never seen an episode of Buffy. Not my thing, thank you. But then Monkey turns around and says, "I worked on Buffy." Look at that. That's not bad at all. Shabby, you should watch the Buffy movie as Pee-wee's in it. Is he? Is he in the Paul Rubens? Is in? I didn't even know there's a Buffy movie as well.
Originally, he wrote. Joss Whedon wrote a movie, and I think it was Kirsty Swanson who was in the movie. And the movie didn't do very well. I think it had Donald Sutherland in it as well, if I remember correctly. But the movie didn't do very well at all. And then about 5 years later, he turned it into a TV show instead. And you know, it's probably his most successful thing he's ever made, I would imagine.
I've got a couple of lads in here that they're turning around and say it's not really my thing and it's for girls, like what Stu said and so forth. Is it? Or would you say that if you're a pop culture enthusiast, you're going to love this show? Or would you say it's for a certain demographic?
It's difficult. If you were to start watching it now, you wouldn't enjoy it. But if you watched it back in the day, it's got a lot of pop culture reference in it and a lot of stuff relevant to that time. And I have to say, you know, regardless of being a girl, I still maintain that this show was revolutionary in the way we see television shows today, because it had long form storytelling in it, and that's something we did not get back in the 90s. It was episode of the week.
I think a lot of the stuff in the 90s and around about the time Buffy was on, they did go for about 7 or so seasons, didn't they? I think that was.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You know, yeah, that was the network thing, was 7 seasons, wasn't it? Yeah. But when I say long form storytelling, I mean, it was a continuous story, whereas you tended to get episodic television back in those days rather than, you know, a continuous storyline.
Martin, Mando Grogu was rubbish. 10 minutes later, Martin, I love the Buffy Vampire Slayer. There we go. I used to watch Buffy in silence as well. I'd turn the sound off and listen to metal while staring at Michelle. She was beautiful. Wasn't she meant to be coming back, actually? She was meant to be coming back, wasn't she, and doing it? And
she was. They filmed the pilot last year, and some Disney executive watched it and decided that they weren't going to move forward with it, so they canned it. So yeah,
she's a pretty good. I liked her in Scooby-Doo. I thought she was great in that. Do you know what I mean? Ian says absolutely loved Buffy, still my favorite TV series ever. Loved Angel too. Well, thanks for coming in, Ian. It's nice to see you. Dark Angel was my show. Jessica Alba.
That was great. Yeah.
Angel has an episode where some of the cast are turned into puppets. It's so good.
Bloody excellent.
And Joss wrote Toy Story. I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Buffy was on when Lord of the Rings was in cinema and DS9 was coming to an end. Right. Okay. So, right. You've also shown us these as well. These are pretty cool.
Yeah, I tried to tie in things, you know, that you can collect for each of these TV shows, and I actually did have these years ago, and I've still got them. And I've searched everywhere, and I cannot find them. I had loads of these. They're from More Collectibles, I think was the name of the company, and then Diamond Select took over afterwards. But I mean, they're not very good looking toys. Let's be honest. They're not. They don't articulate. The facial sculpts are terrible. But I tended to collect things back then that I was into. You know, as I suppose we all did, really. But
you did,
but yeah, no. they're terrible, but I know. But there were I
don't think they're terrible. I mean, we always say that, but you look at kind of Star Wars figures, and they're all like, "Oh, they're amazing." These look better than them. Do you know what I mean? So, are they expensive? Are they pricey now?
I think they're some of them go for about 45, 50 quid each. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So not cheap. That's for sure. I mean, they've held their value more than I don't know, episode 1 figures, shall we say?
Yeah. Smith says, I wrote an episode of Buffy where she came out to my house and I turned her into a twink.
Claiborne Moore. I'm going to regret telling everyone this was my honourable mention.
That's cool, though. That is, so he's right, Claiborne Moore, yeah.
Yeah, this was the episode Hush I was telling you about. They're the monsters, villains from that episode. So yeah, pretty cool.
I don't mind. Do you still look for these now? Or
that particular one there goes for about £100.
Right. 100 quid.
So, 100 quid for that. So I won't be buying it, but it's a great, I think that one looks fantastic, for its age. What's that, 2000? I think that came out. So
Sideshow made several 12-inch Buffy action figures, Martin, back in the day as well. Is this something you still look for? So when you go to Sandown or NEC or whatever, and if you ever came across these, are you tempted?
Right. Well, when I prepared for tonight, I did a lot of research for all of the TV shows that had toys, so that I could send you these things. And I have to be honest, most of the things that I've seen preparing for this, if I see them, I'll probably pick up 1 or 2 just for my
always gets you, doesn't it? Always gets you.
It's the memory, Shabby. I just, this one particularly is one of my favourite episodes, and just having it on the shelf every time I walk past it and look at it, it will make me smile. So
you see, and I suppose that's why I've never put myself, Martin and Stu, into that thing, vintage or modern girls' toys. But I'll just love this shit. I always have done, and I think you're right. Really, there's so many times you've watched the video and you lot have gone somewhere and you've seen some. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I always get the most amount of nostalgia for stuff, things that I haven't collected continuously. Star Wars, Transformers, He-Man, we've done it since we were kids and we're still doing it now. But it's little things that you see, like probably this or something else that gives you that, oh man, I'd love to have them again, and that kind of thing. So I just think it's absolutely brilliant. Here we go. VTR says, can't remember seeing a carded Buffy at a toy fair. Are they rare, or do you see them, Stu, a lot when you go out?
No, to be honest with you, no, because I don't really sort of like look out for that kind of thing. So I've kind of got 1 or 2 things in mind when I go to a toy fair to look out for. But I've never seen one of these.
But Mr. Noise, how many times have you done that, right? Where you're going to it, because I do it all the time. Right, you've made a list, or you've got it up here. I'm getting this, and then you come out with everything different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't believe I found that. All the time. Yeah, all the time.
Rob's Metro says Joe Fest might have some Buffy figures. You'll have the whole crew looking. He'll have everybody looking for him. Brilliant.
Can you
imagine? Seen some dodgy ones about. Don't know enough about Buffy to know what I'm looking at. Would I enjoy it then? So if you turn around to me and said, "Right, Shabs, take a night watching Buffy," would I enjoy it?
I would suggest this episode, Hush, and you'll know instantly after this episode if it's something for you or not, Shabby. It's like I was chatting to Gary Moore a few months back, and he was saying he's never seen the Clone Wars before, and he just can't face the idea of sitting and watching 190 odd episodes. So I said to him, "You've got to watch it. It's one of the
greatest." Which is weird for Gary Moore because he's diehard Star Wars.
He doesn't watch. He says he doesn't watch animation. So I said to him, "Okay, I'll do you a list," and I did him a list of 18 must-see episodes that to watch. And it'll give you the crux of it, and it will tell you whether you like it or not. And if you do like it, if those 18 episodes, then go back and start from the beginning. He never even started watching them, so I don't know if it.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah,
amazing. I never thought you'd be. Well, thanks for sharing that with us, mate. I mean, that's absolutely.
You learn something new, don't you, Shabby?
This is what I mean. This is what I
was so brave.
You were no bollocks to them lot, mate. You enjoy what you want. You know what I mean? There's only 41 people here. You'll be fine. They're all like writing it down now. Can you imagine all the pictures Connor's going to make and that kind of thing? It'll be absolutely superb. Evening all. Hi, TJC. Yeah. So bring 5 Steph. Good evening, TJC. Everyone's saying hello to TJC. So Buffy the Vampire was your honourable mention. Stu's honourable mention. You've got a good route here, Stu. So this is your first one right here. This is awesome. So tell us about this.
There you go. So obviously this is Ray Park. That's me with hair. It happened once.
You're a handsome boy, Stu. You're a handsome boy, man.
You are looking at the shorter one, aren't you? The one with the
the little fella, yeah.
Yeah.
But football, you look like a football star. Do you know what I mean? You got your own ball tracking.
I was well into my football then. I was into my coaching and all that sort of stuff. So that's So you know, you've come out
butter wouldn't melt in her mouth until you know what I mean?
Be right there, Zoe, right there.
And then Lady Steph says, literally didn't know Stu was in that picture.
I was going to say, Shabby, I said, oh, this is interesting. So who are those two people then?
Yeah. The funniest thing is, I remember the last time we had someone, we did this thing where people were showing them younger selves. Do you remember? And everyone sent pictures of them young. Yeah. And I don't think Stu's face has changed at all. I think he looks the same he did 20 years ago, 10 years ago. But everyone couldn't work out it was Stu. And I was like, what are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? He wasn't a bald kid. Do you know what I mean? But they were like, no, he doesn't look like Stu. And I was like, looks exactly like him. But anyway, where was this, Stu? Where was it?
So this was at Sandown. So this was 1999. It was after The Phantom Menace had been released. And
right.
I was collecting the figures and stuff like that. And then I was sat at home one day and I was looking through the paper and I saw in the ads that Sandown Toy Fair was happening and they had Ray Park there and a few others. So I thought, oh, okay, well, it's only up the road for me. So I drove up the road and stuff like that, paid to get in. And I met Ray Park. And I've got to say, what an absolute awesome guy he was. He took the time to chat with you, ask how you were. Myself and Georgie, we've seen him a couple of times since then up at like MCM or London Film and Comic Con and stuff like that. But so I got a couple of figures that day. I got him to sign them, and I think the signings then were £20 per signing. So
I remember getting David Prowse's for 20 quid, and I'm like,
it's
what?
Mad, isn't it?
You know?
Absolutely mad. And how many did I get? So I got 2 figures signed and an actual picture signed as well. So what's this?
Stu, is his choice going to be 2 big lady 5?
Like, unbelievable. Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah. Stu, like Zoe, like Buffy, Stu Ayres has been cancelled. I tell you what, Stu, I don't know why you're bothered. Look at this, Mr. B, bless him. Like, wow. I know. So was he have you met him before or after this? Or?
So this was the first time. So I think this was a couple of weeks before The Phantom Menace was going to be released on DVD.
Wow.
I think it was, yeah. And just such a nice guy. And it's the first time that I'd ever met anybody like a film star. Because I'd loved Darth Maul. I thought he was a great character. I personally don't think they should have killed him off in episode 1. They did. But which just what a top guy. And the reason why he's not made my top 5, even though he's the first person I've ever met, is because just recently he has gone on some kind of slump. He's in a bad way. I used to follow him on Instagram, and some of the stuff he's putting on Instagram, I just thought, mate, I
lost it a bit.
This. Yeah, he's sort of lost it. He's had a lot of difficulties with his marriage and stuff like that, and it's starting to show and stuff like that. And he was just doing some ridiculous stuff on Instagram. And I just thought, mate, I've got so much time for you. Every time we've seen you, you've just taken the time out. And the thing is, he would stand and chat to you, and the guys that were running the event were like, come on, we've got to do this, and he's like, no, I'm going to make sure I see everybody. So he was probably a pain in the ass for the organisers, because they have like time schedule things to go to them. And Georgie, bless her, she's been on both sides of that coin. She's actually crewed an event where she's been with one of the stars, and she had to get from A to B at a certain time. And but for us as a paying customer, someone to go and see him, it's great that he takes that time out. And
I've never heard anything bad said about him off anybody, because I've got a few. I remember a couple of years back, someone was, I'm not going to say his name because I wouldn't do that, but someone was dying to meet Anthony Daniels, and it was an absolute fortune. And then he came back, and it was so off-putting. He said he was just he wasn't interested, wasn't asked. So for you to say that this guy takes time out and talks,
honestly, from the word go, he's been absolutely brilliant. And then one year, myself and Georgie, we saw him up at Olympia for London Film at Comic Con, and we paid a little bit extra to watch him do like a lightsaber stunt show at the end.
Yeah.
So there was a handful of us in this room, and he had his lightsabers, and he was just doing all this stuff, and he was just absolutely engaging. He got the kids up and got them involved and stuff like that, and he was absolutely brilliant. And I just think it's such a shame that, you know, because he's now been cancelled as Darth Maul. He's never going to be Darth Maul.
Which is a
again.
shame, because it's like what Martin said before.
Yeah.
That Maul series was, I mean, I remember the first time I was in Harrods, believe it or not, in 1999. I lived in London. It was before I was coming to America. And I remember seeing the Phantom Menace trailer in Harrods, right? And so it was the one where the Gundams were coming out. Do you remember the reeds at the start? And at the end, when you saw him when he put the lightsaber down, it came through one, but then it came through the other. To me, he's an iconic character, Darth Maul. Ray Park played him brilliantly.
And
you know?
What else was I going to say? And he's been cancelled from all sort of events now as well, because he used to go to a lot of signings and stuff. He went, you know, did all the circuit in the States for different conventions and stuff like that. But he's been cancelled from that now as well. So
wow, brought him back and killed him. Brought him back, then killed him. Brought him back, killed him. Maul is like a fucking yo-yo.
Oh no, yeah.
G4 said that's a great umbo jumper.
It was a jacket. It was a jacket.
Stu had fashion sense.
I did. Yeah.
Were you getting? I was in the supermarket, Aaron, Stu. Do you know what I mean? It's in that supermarket.
No, I still can't get over that.
I'll tell you, it just goes to show that, doesn't it? But no, it's funny that for me, because I've got a couple of and I know you two, you meet people and you get them signed or whatever, and I have met a couple of people. But is it important to you two when you go to these big functions to actually meet the stars or the celebrities?
Not so much now. Not now, because basically the prices they are charging are astronomical. We'll get to that as we go further on into the the top five and stuff. But it was just, he's a human being, and at the end of the day, he was just such a great guy to chat with and stuff like that. You know, and I know he was Darth Maul, but what a lot of people don't realize is he actually enjoyed talking more about being Snake Eyes and that sort of thing when he did G.I. Joe, the first
thing is, he made his, because I know he was always at the Disney parks, wasn't he, doing the Darth Maul thing? So he made his money off it, didn't he? Let's be honest, you know,
I think he preferred talking about Snake Eyes. So when myself and Georgie went to meet him, I think the second time round, we got him to sign like a Snake Eyes picture from the G.I. Joe movie. I just think he's an absolute top guy, and I'd like to remember him how he was. It's like he's passed away. He hasn't, but I like to remember him how he was, like just really fun, engaging, and stuff like that. You know, just brilliant.
That's right. It was the guy from Shaun of the Dead, wasn't it? You know, it was him that did the voice. He was only the look of Darth Maul that did his voice over. Does that put you off about Darth Maul dying and coming back, like what Connor said and so forth, or do you just like the character?
I like the character. I've always said I don't think they should have killed him off, and I think they've realised they made a boo-boo when they actually brought him back in Clone Wars. And I think
you do.
Yeah. I think they made a mistake, and I think they realised that. What about you, Martin?
Yeah, I mean, there's actually on some footage on one of the special edition Clone Wars DVDs where George says to Dave Filoni, "Oh, we're bringing Darth Maul back," and Dave's like, "What? He's dead?" And George said, "No, he's not. I just decided he's not." And
right,
Dave's
I never knew that. So it was a George Lucas idea to bring him back.
It's a misconception that the Clone Wars was Dave Filoni. George Lucas okayed every single story that was in the Clone Wars, so it's more. It's just as much George Lucas as it was Dave. But yeah. So, but I actually quite liked the way they got around bringing him, that he was so filled with the dark side that it sustained his life. His hate kept him alive. So and if every project they've ever done with him after that, he still maintains that hate. So yeah, I didn't mind it so much.
I'm surprised with what he said about Gary Moore, Martin, because Clone Wars, to me, I love and it's one of those rare Star Wars things, lads, that I can watch back again. The Clone Wars, I can watch it again, and it's I think the stories are fantastic. Maul's return and story arc in the Clone Wars show are among the better episodes. Do you agree, boys?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, there you have it. There's your number 5. We're up to 50 people in the chat, so thank you. What you said, eye candy, get eye candy on like these two beauties. Everyone's turning up. Do you know what I mean?
But it went up when Stu put that picture up.
No one's watching. They just wanted to see Stu with hair. They're like, "What? Shabby's got a picture of Stu with hair." Going on. Anyway, Here's your number 5. Come in, Martin. We're ready for you. It's like a waiting room, isn't it? Brilliant. Number 5.
Number 5. My number 5 favorite TV show of all time is HBO's Deadwood. If you haven't seen this show, I'm going to say this a lot tonight. As soon as this episode's finished, find it, watch it. It's one of the greatest television shows ever made. One of the most realistic television shows ever made. I mean, every detail of this, from what I've read, was meticulously thought out to be absolutely dead on to what it was like back in the late 1800s. Is it North Dakota? I think, I can't remember.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's up there. Mm-hmm.
But not only that, it's got one of the greatest casts in the history of television. You've got Ian McShane, you've got Powers Booth, you've got Timothy Oliphant, you've got Brad Dourif.
Who basically played it in Mando, did he? He basically played the same thing.
There's an interesting story because obviously Timothy Oliphant played the sheriff in that small town in Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian. Well, the bartender, who I think he was a Weequay. I think he was a Weequay. Well, he was played by W.L. Brown that Weequay, and W.L. Brown was the bartender in Al Swearengen's in Deadwood. So so there's a connection between the Mandalorian and Deadwood, which I thought was fantastic. But this is one of the most gritty, hardcore, sweary, bloodthirsty television shows that's ever been made, but it's also one of the most interesting because it's as I say, it's very historically accurate. I mean, obviously they elaborate on the characters, but all the characters in it were real people. Obviously it's not 100% true, but it all takes place about this gold rush in Deadwood, and it's about the beginnings of this small town that's being created. They're not part of the United States of America yet, so they're trying to get as much money as they can. There's no law there at all. There's murders.
Sounds like Shabby's house.
Yeah, it's just absolutely incredible show, and I watch this at least once a year. I mean, it's that good.
Did you like the thing that came out recently a few years back where they bought it was a movie of it or something? Wasn't it?
Well, I'm just going to say I'm very glad that we're only talking about TV shows because that movie was a real disappointment. When they cancelled it after the 3rd season, they never quite finished it. So they did the movie like 15 years later to try and finish it, didn't they, Shabs? And
they sure did.
Unfortunately, it didn't quite live up to the
No,
TV.
I think that happens a few times, doesn't it? When you leave something too long and bring... It's like, the only thing I think, like Coming to America. I love the first one, and you watch the one on Netflix, and you're like, oh, no, you shouldn't have made this. Do you know what I mean? And I always thought the same about Deadwood. And he's got some things here for it. These are pretty cool.
Now, again, I was researching toys, and these are die-cast toys by Empress Miniatures, and they're the only things I could find online that need toys. So if I ever find these, I will be picking these up because I never realised that you could ever get anything to do with Deadwood. And they're not great, let's be honest, but they're still a reminder of Deadwood, so I would definitely pick these up. But just one other thing, Shabby, if you don't mind.
You go on.
The guy on the third from the left is a character called Mr. Wu, and he's played by a guy called Keone Young, who's going to be at Joe Fest in 3 weeks' time. And I've never gone and got an autograph in my life. I'm going to get his autograph. And I'm going to make him say San Francisco cocksucker to my face. I
cannot wait. Come on, Dude Martin, get thrown out of Joe Fest. Like, can't take him anywhere. Can't take him anywhere, Steph. You know what I mean? Oh, that's brilliant. Martin, look at Texas from here. Martin's just totally redeemed himself. Absolutely brilliant. Martin, number 1 better be Laverne and Shirley. If Eurotrash isn't his number 1, he's lying. Oh, brilliant. The voiceovers were the stars of Eurotrash. Brilliant. Never watched Deadwood, heard it is, but I agree with what Martin said. The TV show, the first episode of the TV show, that woman holding that dead baby, and I'm like, oh no, this is going to be rough, but the story's brilliant. But I agree that the movie was all right, but I agree they left it too late afterwards. Never watched Deadwood, heard it's amazing, but not getting any proper ending puts me off watching. If they made 6 inches of this, would you buy him?
Absolutely, 100%. I'd want all of the cast, because there's not a bad cast member. And there must be about 100 cast members, and they're all, Brian Cox is in this. I mean, there's just so many massive Powers Booth, as I mentioned, Anna Gunn from Breaking Bad. There's just so many amazing actors in this. And
but watching it from Breaking Bad, I forgot all about her. Yeah, you're right.
But it's all about Ian McShane in this show.
Lovejoy in the West.
Yeah, Lovejoy. It was the first thing I'd ever seen him in, other than Lovejoy, and I was like, "Oh, what is this? Lovejoy's in it." And honestly, the first scene that he's in is just like, "What have I just watched?" It's honestly, Stu, have you seen it?
No.
You get on it, Stu.
Stu. Honestly,
it is good. It's worth watching. Yeah,
but I do like that kind of thing. It's set in that time period. I really do like those kind of things. Yeah.
It's brilliant, mate. Honestly, you've got to check it out. Can't recommend it enough. So I'm wishing I put it higher now. Actually,
it's a great. It is good. But I'm intrigued by these. Judge says they're like war game, role playing things. That's what they're like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, boys. Hi, fell asleep on the couch. Right, we'll have to start again. Are you ready to? Let's have a look. So everyone's saying hello to Sags. Sags is here. That's brilliant. Yeah, awesome. Number 5. Look at your number 5. Look at this. It's like a Katie Sackhoff night. Look at her. There she is. Mandalorian.
Honest to God. So I've never ever heard of Katie Sackhoff until I saw the revamp of Battlestar Galactica. And if I know Martin, then I would like to say, I don't want to assume, but I'm pretty sure that might be in one of his top 5s. But she's just absolute quality. I mean, this was before she was Bo-Katan in Rebels and stuff like that. Not Rebels, the Clone Wars. But wow, what an absolute fantastic person she is. So, Georgie, bless her. I mean, she's only got into like the autograph collecting since I took up to London to Olympia and get her to meet people and stuff like that. And we used to watch all these like TV series together and stuff like that. And then we'd look through the Comic Cons and who's going where. And we said, oh, crikey. So we've got the guy who's playing Adama going. We've got Apollo going. We've got Sanders going. And then Katie Sackhoff's going Starbuck. So we thought, oh, brilliant. We've recently just finished watching Battlestar Galactica. So we went up there and we met her. And what I will say is when we got to the front of the queue, she said, hi, how are you? And stuff like that. And I started talking. Then a sort of like agent or whoever it was started to pipe in. She started talking to us. And I'm thinking, oh, no, that's it. I asked a question to Katie Sackhoff. And then her manager or agent, she responded. And I kind of gave her the funniest of looks and thought. And then Katie started to talk to us. And once she started chatting, she was absolutely brilliant. She was, I think she was just about to go on to France with the guy who played Sanders.
There's something about this woman, isn't there? There's just something about her. Do you know what I mean?
What a smile. She's just absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And Georgie follows her on Instagram and stuff like that. And she's putting all sorts of weird, wacky stuff up on but it's all good fun though. Very, very light-hearted and stuff like that. But I just thought as Starbuck, I thought she was absolutely superb.
It was different the way they did that, wasn't it? The way they changed it at the time.
We grew up in that era where it was Starbuck and Apollo, and they were both male pilots.
Yeah.
And when they said that Starbuck was going to be female and Boom was going to be female, I was kind of like, oh, really? Why are they doing that? But the way they got around it was by Starbuck wasn't the name. It was the call sign.
Yeah.
So you could have a Cara Thrace as Starbuck, a female character playing Starbuck, because it was just a call sign. That's how they got around it. And I thought that was absolutely fantastic. And from that first moment, I saw the first episode, the pilot episode. I just like,
well, they did that in the latest Bond movie. Everyone was going mad. Oh, they've changed Bonding to a black female, but they hadn't. It was the 007 that it wasn't. She wasn't James Bond. Yeah, so when I watched it, I thought, it was the same thing for this, but she was cracking in it. So I enjoyed those Battlestar Galacticas because remember they did bring them back, didn't they? And then they brought them back. Yeah. They've done it a few times. So, do you ever think that could be made into a movie again, Battlestar Galactica?
I've heard somewhere that they're going to be doing a new series. I think they're going to reimage it again, aren't they, Martin?
Yeah, they were talking about it, but I think it's been canned again.
Is it?
Yeah, but I'm happy for them not to be honest with you.
Yeah. But
if they re-rate Goldmember with Jason Statham as Dr. Evil, Stu will be his mini-me.
Yeah.
That's been compared to Jason Statham, though, Stu.
I mean, even Katie Sackhoff's taller than me, for crying out loud.
How tall is she, Stu? How tall is she? Because she's like a model, isn't she, basically? She's a tall woman.
Probably about 9, 5, 10, something like that. She's a little bit taller than me, but what an absolute lovely person. And this is where now the cost of the autographs are going up and stuff like that in the photograph. So I think she was around about £75 to £80, I think.
Wow, it's pricey, isn't it?
For an autograph, then you're paying that again for a picture as well.
So how much altogether did you and Georgie pay for this?
Oh, I would say probably about 160.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I in a way, Martin and Stu, I can understand why they're taking time out of their lives. I mean, they are actors. Yeah. It is a work day, isn't it, for them? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's nice that you have that sort of thing. Or when she comes out and she's nice and all. It's when you hear the stories of not being nice. You know,
every single person that I've got to today have just been absolutely incredible. Really, really cool.
Yeah, it's an awesome picture.
What an absolute beautiful, beautiful person. And like I say, Georgie follows her on Instagram, and she's just so zany and funny and wacky. And there was she put something up the other day on Instagram where she actually got into her original pilot suit from Battlestar Galactica, and she just managed to fit into it. She said, but it felt all slimy and all what's it. And she goes, "This is the last time I'm ever putting this suit on again." But boy, did she look freaking good in it again.
Smith Law says for 75 quid she has to touch my bum.
Why do you think I'm smiling?
I'll give her a £5 change. Absolutely brilliant. Katie Sackhoff is 5'6".
Is she?
He's winding you up.
Yeah, I was going to say, git. Yeah.
160, no wonder why she's still smiling. Yeah, but I remember once, saw a celebration ages ago, who played Gin Erso, what was her name? She was charging like nearly 400 or 500 quid because she doesn't do anything. It's the only time. She's the only time she'll ever do one is this one, but she was getting her money's worth, and I bet she did because apparently she was sold out. So
it's driving me mad now.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember her name. Oh,
yeah,
God. That's
true. G-Force. Larry Harmer. So Larry Harmer's he does all the art and so forth for G.I. Joe. Well, and then last year, and he's a massive guy. He's basically like a George Lucas for Star Wars. You know, everybody knows who Larry Harmer is. Well, this old bloke here does all his autographs for free, every one of them.
Wow.
So Rob said to me, Shabby, go and get yourself a comic and get it signed. You don't, because I was like, well, I don't really know who Larry Harmer was, but I did, and I'm glad I did. What a nice guy. But it's funny because he's old. So he said, who should I make it out to? And I went, Shabby. And he went, Shappy. I went, no, Shabby. And he went, Shab, what? He was looking at it. Was there for about a week, but it was really nice bloke. Amelia Clark. It wasn't Felicity Jones, that was it. Yeah, Felicity something. Yeah, cheers, Delvin and Rob. That's right. Yeah, that's right, Des. So I can see why. Is there anyone you haven't met yet, Martin and Stu, that you'd love to meet?
Oh God.
Go on, Stu.
Like I could probably give you like Naomi Campbell. For me, I'd shit myself. I wouldn't know what to say.
See, now you said Naomi Campbell, and I say I'd love to meet Ian McDiarmid. That's not going to. That's not going to really go down too well, but I mean, Ian McDiarmid, Ewan McGregor, and Hayden Christensen. They're the only 3 Star Wars autographs that I really, really want to get.
We met Ian. We met Ian. And I said to him, everybody thought Vader was the big bad guy. I said, but you were the one behind it. I said, you were the badass, weren't you? And he's like, so just mumbled into himself. Right in the, so, yeah.
Stu wants to meet Kenny Baker, so he'd finally be taller than someone. That's not very nice. Is it? I used to bump into Kenny Baker because he lived in Preston next door to Blackpool. And when I worked in Preston, I always saw him. He was always in Marks and Spencer's. Hey, all right. That's how he talks. Hey, lovely bloke. Dead nice fella. Yeah. But just walked around like a normal fella. He wasn't like, oh, I'm Kenny Baker. Do you know what I mean? Dead nice guy. I've just checked, and Palps is correct. Katie Sackhoff is 5'6". Look at them all laughing.
Really?
Yeah, she'd be all right too, meeting her. But I don't get intimidated. I'm not like, oh, I've got to meet celebrities, whatever. But I was when I met Jem, which was weird. Which was dead weird. I know.
I cannot wait for you to introduce me to her.
Well, the best. I was in the car with Scuba, and Scuba goes, "Oh, she'll remember you." And I went, "No." And I walked in, she went, "Hi, Shabby," and I thought, "Oh my life." This is awesome. Do you know what I mean? Shabby like a 6-year-old girl. Hey, you all right? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what to say? You know. Doesn't Stu want to meet the infamous Delvian? Oh, Delvain. Look at that. Delvain.
I'll met his brother, Delvian. He's a nice chap.
So, sorry, just tell me again, who would it be for you, Stu?
It'd be Gary Kurtz, and
Gary
he was the producer to the original Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, and he was actually at a London Film and Comic Con, and he sat there on his own, and I thought I will go and speak to him, but I never got round to it, so I was pretty gutted. So we went to another one. He was penciled to go, and I was looking everywhere for him because I'd love to have chatted with him and stuff like that. And he had to pull out because of illness and stuff like that. And then a few months later, he passed away. So I was absolutely gutted. The one chance that I could have got to see him, I didn't go and speak to him. So, yeah.
Our Star Wars, I always wanted to meet David Prowse, and he was a lovely bloke. But you know who the nicest person for me in our side was? So it was Burnley Star Wars Fund. It was like a year before I left for America. Was the young girl who played Aunt Beru in Revenge of the, and she came back for the Obi-Wan Kenobi ring. So and I wasn't queuing up for her autograph or anything. So I had Lucy was a baby. She was in there. She was about 2 or 3. I've got a picture with her with R2D2. He's brilliant. And we sat down. Obviously, it was at Burnley Football Club, so it was where the restaurant was upstairs, whatever. And we sat down and we were Lucy, and she was sat there. She was on her own. Do you know what I mean? She was just having a dinner, and she talked to me inside for about 20 minutes. And I tell you what, I thought, I didn't realize she was Australian. I didn't know that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Bonnie, somebody.
What a lovely woman, honestly, Martin. I could have stayed with her for ages. And she was telling us about this and the experiences she had and so forth. And she was a dead nice lady. But Star Wars, besides Darth Vader and David Prowse, I don't know, Phil Tippett, I think. Somebody behind the scenes.
Phil Tippett, yeah. Dennis Muren would be another
Dennis Muren,
I met Ben Burt at Star Wars Celebration.
Now that would be perfect. How was he?
Yeah, he was great. He did a little sort of talk to all of us, and we could like fire out questions to him and stuff. And I was so nervous I didn't ask him a question, but just people were asking him questions that he gets asked all the time. But just being there and hearing him talk about sound, how he came up with the sounds for the original Star Wars movie, A New Hope. You know, just hearing how he came up with it. It was just great being in his presence. To be honest with you,
how are you when you meet people?
I'm terrible, absolutely terrible. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm like, I'll hand over the money and they sign it, and I go thanks, and I just walk away.
No eye contact. Thank you.
I'm a really confident person, but when it comes to like doing that, I'm terrible, absolutely terrible. But I'm sure Stu would agree. Sometimes it's great when they're the ones that kick off the chat, because you just fall into it, then, don't you?
So I was going to say, of all the people I've met, I've never been embarrassed or shy or anything like that. I've always gone straight in and started like a conversation. It's never bothered me, apart from one person. That I can't tell you. But Georgie, bless her, she was the same. She would meet people from like E.T. and Gremlins and stuff like that. And I think, what was her name? Dee Wallace, who played the mum in E.T. She was sat there looking with her. And I said, go now. There's no one there. Go and talk to her.
Do you remember me telling you? Do you remember me telling you to watch that The Burrows on Netflix?
Oh yeah, we started that. Yeah.
Right. That's her. That's Dee Wallace for me. I couldn't believe it, and she looks great for her age. She looks absolutely fantastic. And I'm watching it, and I thought, my word, I've not seen her since E.T. basically. So I bet that big kill to do. Cat Knight says, I met David Prowse at a toy shop when I was a kid. Let me tell you, you don't need a lightsaber or witty banter. I stumped him by putting my left hand out to say, hello. Nice to meet you. Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. Wow, this is going awesome so far. Here are your number 4s. I want to say as well, I am loving this. I've loved every episode. I love it when I'm surrounded by people I like. Do you know what I mean? And honestly, so you two, it does help. Yeah. Well, we've got, like I say, 50 people in the chat as well. So I think people who enjoyed it both. So I just wanted to thank you both for coming on. Honestly, that's the worst thing about it. I could do a 24-hour bloody charity stream with you two. You know what I mean? Talking away, absolutely brilliant. But here we are, number 4. Now this surprises me. This number 4.
Ooh. This is an absolutely incredible TV show. I stumbled upon this about 10 years ago, and I'd heard it was all right by a lot of people, and a lot of people said, "Oh, I couldn't get past the first episode. Past the first episode." But it's probably the most authentic look of the drug police culture in American cities. I mean, I'm not American. I don't live in American cities, but from what I've read and by the makers of this show, who all grew up in Baltimore, where it's actually from or takes place, you know, there's actually people who in the show who turned into actors to be in this show, who were originally in prison for drugs and stuff.
It's very authentic, wasn't it? The Wire.
It's again, I can't without ruining it. But each season is about a different aspect of the Baltimore way of life. So the season 1's about the police, season 2's about the docks, season 3's about I don't know, the I can't really explain that, but the 4th one is the schools, and the 5th one's about 5th season's about the press. But don't let it put you off. All the same characters are in it all the way through, with the same through line storyline. It was written by David Chase, if I remember correctly, who was a news reporter in Baltimore, and he basically, you know, used his life experiences to write this show. And I think I'm right in saying it's pretty much probably thought to be one of the greatest TV shows in history, regardless of what you like and what you don't like. This is probably...
It's funny because everyone was saying for HBO at the time, obviously Sopranos is... I've yet to meet anyone who hates it. But then this came along. Because a lot of people, you'll never beat The Sopranos. But this, I think, is just as good as The Sopranos. And David Chase is married to Michelle Pfeiffer. Did you know that?
I did not know that, no. I mean, this you know, this was Idris Elba's first ever acting role in this film, and it's following these characters all the way through the 5 seasons, you know, the ones that make it. It's so good, and it's so shocking as well. And it's not shocking for, you know, gratuity's sake. It's shocking because it feels real, everything that happens to the people in it, and you feel sorry for some of the worst in this show, because you really
kind of understand why they do what they do, where they're from, and their upbringing and that kind of thing.
Exactly. They were, you know, they were born into this system of, and that's how they're, you know, they had no other way of getting out. You know, they had to do that to survive. And some of the people that do the evilest of evil things in this show, you still feel sorry for them, because you know the story's told so well. I lent this to a friend of mine about 2 or 3 years ago. I lent him the box set, and I said, you know, honestly, trust me. And he watched the first episode, and a couple of weeks later, I got in contact, said, what do you think of The Wire? You must be finished it by now. He said, couldn't get past the first episode. And it's very talky. It's very dialogue heavy. But I love that. I that's the sort of thing I like, you know, well-written stuff, you know. I mean, obviously, you know, I said Buffy was an honorable mention, but, you know, we won't go there. But this show was honestly one of the best written shows ever, probably ever.
Did you ever see it, Stu? The Wire?
Again, no.
What? Now this is one I would like. Deadwood, I'd say watch it. It's funny because it's HBO as well. Deadwood was HBO. Wire's HBO. Do you know what I mean? So it's definitely worth it. It's good. The guy with the scar that was meant to be playing it in Solo.
He was in it
Solo.
too.
Yeah, he was, and he died, didn't he? But he's brilliant in this. He's really good in it. So
brilliant.
Yeah, it's an absolutely great show.
Yeah, honestly, again, if anybody hasn't seen it and, you know, they've got a spare 3 or 4 months, then sit and watch this show. You will.
It's a mass expanse you've got though, and I like that about you. So the TV shows you've shown so far. I mean, Buffy's nothing like The Wire. Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? But I kind of like that you know, you get drawn to something, and you are right. I mean, I always said it about Rogue One when it was boring. But I like reading. I like novelization. So this is kind of like that. There is a lot of talking in it, but the story's really, really good. Really good.
Actually, Shabby, that's a really good way of describing The Wire. It's a book. It's a TV show that's more like a book than a TV show.
I agree.
It's so detailed in every way. Only a book can be as detailed. When you make a book into a film or a TV show, they can only put so much in to fill that 2 hours. But The Wire feels like they've got every word from the page into the TV show.
I
it's
agree.
incredible.
That's a great way of looking at it, buddy.
Yeah.
Great way. What are you watching both at the moment that you really enjoy?
We're watching a series called The Madison, and that's Taylor.
Watched it.
Oh, so brilliant. I think we're on episode 4. I think we've got 2 more episodes left.
Yeah.
What a talented guy he is when it comes to writing. He really knows how to write a story. We're also watching the Dutton Ranch and Marshalls as well.
Oh, I went off Marshalls because it didn't feel like, but the Dutton Ranch, that is right up there. I love that. The Burrows was good. I'm watching Widow's Bay, and it's weird for me because, like I said, I'm a big girl on when it comes to horrors and stuff. But I tell you what, I'm thoroughly enjoying Widow's Bay on Apple. It really is. What about yourself, Martin? What are you watching recently?
I haven't really watched too much in the last couple of weeks, but the one show that I will watch as soon as it's like released and it's on Apple TV, it's called Our Friends and Neighbours, and it's John Hamm.
I went off it.
Oh really?
I love the first season, and I watched the second. I watched the. You remember all the pool party, the second one.
Yeah.
And I thought I'm watching a bunch of 50-year-olds acting like teen, and it just put me off.
Yeah.
And then
yes, I get what you're saying. I just find the comedy moments in it.
Yeah, it's good.
So funny.
Yeah. Well, anything with Olivia Munn, I could watch that for a week.
Oh
you know
yeah.
what
I mean, yeah, she's all right.
Oh, just a bit. I was at Q&A with the director Gurinder Chadar, Bend It Like Beckham at the weekend. Didn't get a photo though. I remember her. Yeah.
You should invite her to the This'll Do.
No, she can't get in. Only elites like yourselves.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Only elite. Oh, I loved it when I showed it when Steph was on all the This'll Do pictures, all leading at
Shabby. It was the best thing I've done this year so far. It was so good.
I'll just never. You know what? And I'm not going to be. That's the sort of person RSI was, man. He always thought of people like that because I remember when Zoe was first talking about the This'll Do, whatever, and RSI. Because you've got to admit, the T's are one of the nicest people you're ever going to see. I'd love to meet them. I just love that family. And I'll just never forget our side turning around and said, let's make it famous. I said, what do you mean? He goes, let's make it famous. Let's go all out for the This'll Do. And then, Stu, you did the quiz with the This'll Do. I thought, oh my God. You know what I mean? Imagine if we becoming a millionaire, me, you, and Size Stu, but like, I got a minute. Do you know what I mean? Where's our uncle? But the This'll. And then I was made up when... I mean, when you got because it's Star Wars sticker was awesome, but when you got those foiled This'll Do stickers, I was like, this is just brilliant. The This'll Do, brilliant. What made you go around? What did you go around for? What is it?
Oh, Des and Andrea, they live literally an hour and 5 minutes from us, so it's just down the road. And we kept saying, we're going to do it, but we said, right, let's do it. Let's make a date. So we did it. We drove up. Zoe was around as well. So she said, oh, do you want to come to the This'll Do? And we went over to Zoe's. We did the This'll Do. My jaw was hurting from smiling so much. She took us up to her collection room, and we checked out her amazing collection room, which was brilliant. And then we went over to Des and Andrea's, and I got to go in Des's loft again. And
I saw those pictures too.
Honestly,
I love that when I see them at each other's house. Yeah. The weirdest thing for me, it's like at my mum's house. I've seen DTM in there, our Tez in there, our Chris in there. Not bothered at all. Seeing Scuba Pete at my mum's house, that was the weirdest. It just made me feel weird because he was here about 2 weeks before. And then he FaceTimed me and he sat in my mum's chair, and I thought, that is the weirdest thing ever. I just loved it. I reckon I know Stu was dribbling over so he couldn't talk. Does she wear red? Is that a clue, so Stu?
Oh, I know.
That picture is still my sleep paralysis demon. Hey, Golgi Tron, nice to see you. Whenever I meet a celebrity, I like to have a conversation starter other than I'm a big fan, which they must hear 1,000 times a day. What do you talk to them about? You know what I mean?
Just ask them how they are.
That's it. So you don't go, oh, in episode 4 of this, can you explain that to you like these?
No.
All the
we had a photograph taken with Sam Neill, who played what was his name? Dr. Grant in Jurassic Park, and Georgie was one side, Sam's in the middle, and I'm on the other side. And I said, freeze. You can't see us if we freeze or if you don't move, something like that. The guy was taking the photograph. He just looked at me and went, like that. So that's okay. I don't care.
Rob says, love The Wire. Slightly dated with the phones now, but it's still great. Yeah, I agree with that. But I think it's the same as The Sopranos. Sopranos was started 30 years ago now, but you can still watch it. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. I think with the thing with the phones is because it's old tech that you can imagine that the drug dealers would use old tech because it's not got got the internet on it, so there's less chance of them being caught. So I suppose you could kind of look at it that way if you were worried about that.
That's why The Sopranos worked as well, because sometimes in there you think to yourself, nowadays you'd get caught straight away, but back then, and that's why The Wire worked. I agree with that too. Yeah, The Wire is a must-see show, says Jonathan. Rob says great series. Omar's coming. Yeah. Yeah, JB Chase created the Rockford Files and The Sopranos. I'm watching his new one now. His new one is Margot's Got Money Troubles on Apple, and it's good. It's really good. So he wrote that as well, and his wife's in it. Michelle Pfeiffer's in that. So I'm not going to tell anything about it, but it is worth watching. It definitely is. Let's see what everyone else is saying before we get to Stu's number 4. One of the writers was a retired Baltimore homicide detective. There you go. So that's probably why they got it all on there. Yeah, he is. Oh, Denise Kelly. No, he's married to Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm sure he is. What? His real name's Patrick. So I'm like, all right, fair enough. Seems like Martin's TV shows is a pretty popular. Too bad his music taste is nice. Geek Chunk says, a show with dialogue. I'm out. Dutton Ranch has been. I love it. Don't you, Stu?
Love
it.
I mean, they're great characters anyway, Beth and Rip. So,
are you watching this, boys? I've watched the first 2 episodes and I liked it.
First one.
I haven't started it yet.
Are you watching in black and white or colour, Stu?
Yeah.
I'm watching. Yeah, I have. I am watching.
How much difference is it? It really makes a difference to it, doesn't it? It gives you.
I think so.
Oldie feel.
Well, when it's called noir, that's why you're supposed to watch it, you know. But it has been good. It's been really good. I talked to John, and John said the first 2 he enjoyed. Sags said the second one and third one was all right. Fourth one was like, what am I watching? But I think I'm going to stick with it. I'm enjoying it. So let's have a look. Sweater not Seater. He says, Sweater, Seater, Jonathan, and I have some complete opposite tastes. 4 episodes of Spider Noir, and I was done with it. So boring, it isn't going anywhere. Like, why am I watching this? Wow. Well, I'm going to stick with it, aren't you, Stu?
Oh, yeah.
I think the slow pace is awesome, John. Yeah, I think it's not bad. Yeah. When I like something, John will say it's rubbish. When I think something is poor and slow, John, look at him laughing. Absolutely brilliant. Who is this beauty? Whoa, I tell you what. Me. Oh, yeah. And who's the girl next to you?
Yeah.
Oh, my cheeks are hurting.
Yeah, so am mine.
No wonder he's smiling like that, Martin, on that picture. You know?
So this is it Tricia Helfer? And she played 6 in Battlestar Galactica, the updated version. Oh my! Now, like I say, I don't normally get flustered when I, meet these people. I'm all kind of like, "Hello, how are you?" Blah blah blah. What you been up to? Blah. Yeah. I saw her sitting there, and I was like. And all I wanted to say was, I've seen your bum, but I couldn't say that. So I was like, really, just absolutely, she's stunning. And I felt so nervous, and I've never, ever been like that before in front of like anybody that I've met, sort of thing. So then we went to go in for the photo, and I went and had my photo, and I just standing there like that. And
she's looking really sultry in that picture, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a beauty. Yeah, she is.
Well, again, she's taller than me, and I think I felt intimidated. But yeah, she just made me feel all weak at the knees and go all unnecessary. And I turned around and said, thank you very much, and all the best and take care. And she went, oh, like that, and I went, oh, like that. So, yeah, she was just incredible. Wow. Yeah.
Hope you clip that bit. Why is it every time you or Matt come on my show, I always end up pissing myself? That was brilliant. It was brilliant.
But she made me go all unnecessary. I've never ever. I'm sweating now thinking about it, for crying out loud.
That's one of the nicest things about pop culture, especially when you're acting it, because you've always got a career at these cons and people like to say Stu and yourselves. You're made up to meet them. Do you know what I mean? So it must mean something to him.
There wasn't much conversation. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
there was no conversation whatsoever. Hi, how are you? Yeah. And then I just, but again, her character, I thought she was so diverse as a character because she played different models of herself, and each model was very different in how they were and stuff like that, and the characteristics and their personalities. And I just thought that the whole series was absolutely superb. So to get to meet the cast that I did from Battlestar Galactica, along with she's only 5 foot. No, she's not. She's a lot taller than that. I just think they're absolutely brilliant. I just love the series, and I love the characters, and just to get to meet them was superb. But
you've got this picture for that, you remember it, because even now this is a few years back, but look at the way you're talking about it. Like, oh man, look at
the autograph is her just standing there in that stunning red dress that she wears with that lighting behind her, and it's just like,
it was like, oh.
Yeah.
If this is number 4, I can't wait to see number 3, 2, and 1.
Brilliant. Oh, yeah. Hey, Dino, good Dino's here. And when I met Erin Gray, I asked her to dinner, and she went, "No, well. I don't do Taco Bell." Look at this. These photos suggest Stu has some serious internal monologue going on here. Absolutely brilliant.
No. Just she was the one who made me go all unnecessary.
Monkey says she has an OnlyFans now. She has OnlyFans. Oh,
she?
Go. No, well, if Monkey Boy says it, he must be right. Stu looks like he's about to become a puddle on the floor. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you do look a bit. Look at that amazing background behind Martin. We showed it big before, but let me just show it again because he's worked hard on this. Bless him. He's worked very hard. Looks brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So, did you get any comments about your shells? Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's leaning, something like that. Yeah,
no, there was plenty of, they don't look straight. When we did Stu's stream on Saturday, Connor put in the comments, look, that Han Solo figure's not as straight as the others. And I actually turned around and had a look because he made me look.
You used to do it with Matt. John O did it with Matt all the time. He looks uneven, and Matt's like, what? You know what I mean? He shells behind him, and then you could always see every 2 minutes when he wasn't talking, he'd do this. Just have a quick look and so forth. She knows how to work a camera. Yeah, she bloody does. I'll tell you what. What else is she been in?
That's it, as far as I know.
Wow.
I don't know. I've only seen him in that, and but
wow. Now let's have a look. Erin Gray was going to, boys.
Yeah. Biddy, no chance.
There was no way she was going to say no, but her agent said no because they already had plans. Doesn't hurt to ask. Now we know what Stu's gobsmacked face looks like. Gobsmacked face. Look at this. Props for John. Erin Gray loves the new Spider-Man. Yeah. Oh yeah, Dino's met her too. Look, I was lucky to meet her too and agree she's stunning. Yeah, she is a pretty lady. Here we go. Didn't Trisha Helfer do an intro for Ryan's channel?
Who's Ryan?
Which Ryan? Australian Ryan? Which Ryan? Who's Ryan? Which one do you mean? I think she did, Terry. Right. Where's Stu's left hand? She was in Lucifer, was she? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right. I met John Rhys Davies a few times. I asked him once what he thought I'd have done if the acting didn't work out. We ended up talking about welding because he was a trained welder. Nice, JT. Absolutely brilliant, these lads. Okay. Well, it's going great so far. Here's your number 3s. Saw a bit of this in your video. I didn't realize you were such a big fan.
Number 3, Star Trek, the best Star Trek, better than all the other Star Treks, especially the original series.
Right.
Sorry, Palps. It's a show. I don't know if you guys do it, but when I go to bed at night, I always put a show on just as I'm falling asleep, and it sort of just left playing. This is the show that's pretty much on every single evening, and it goes on loop. It just like I mentioned Buffy at the beginning. This was Star Trek as we knew it, like Next Generation, but it was different because it after season 3 it introduced a continuous storyline where every episode was leading up to the war against the Dominion, and I was, when Star Wars finished in the mid 50s, mid 80s, I kind of latched on to Star Trek because it was all there was really for me. So I watched all of the Next Generation.
Oh right, sorry to cut you off. So it didn't coincide. Once one finished, you went on to another one, Star Wars, and then to Star Trek.
Star Wars was always there, but I was, the visual medium of television and movies for me was always the thing that I, gravitated towards. And, it was the original Star Trek movies and then Star Trek The Next Generation. And then this came out. And I didn't watch it for the first couple of years. And then I think after the 3rd year, I started watching it. And it's difficult not to put this as my favorite show, but
what makes this better than the other Star Treks?
It's different. It's the only Star Trek that takes place on a space station. So basically, they're not really going anywhere. They had to come up with different stories because all the other Star Treks they're on a ship, so they can fly somewhere different and have an adventure. So with this one, it was all about this wormhole, and through the wormhole was this. I don't want to get all technical, but there was another sort of force of aliens that wanted to come and invade the Federation, and it just basically 5 seasons of this show was about this massive war, and it had some really like tough episodes, even though it was Star Trek and it was still PG. There was some really interesting stuff, and for me personally, there was the amazing space battles, which are one of my favorite things in Star Wars was always the big space battles in Return of the Jedi and Battle of Endor. Well, this had stuff, the war against the Dominion that was just another level. And again, this has got 2 or 3 episodes that I could pick out, which you could probably just watch, that would just blow your mind. Honestly, you'd think, oh, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, oh, what a pile of rubbish, I'm never watching that.
I've never seen it, never seen it at all.
Honestly, it starts off quite tough, just like a lot of Star Trek shows do, because they're finding their feet, but once it finds its feet, it's an absolutely incredible show. I honestly I can't really say too much more about it because it's so intricate. I've talked about The Wire earlier being intricate, but this is like a network television sci-fi show that had no right to be as intricate than it was, and for me, it's the greatest of all Trek. Nothing's ever come close to it. Nothing modern for sure, and nothing before or after it.
Do you think they set out for that, Martin? Because they knew obviously Star Wars and there's been past Star Trek gone. They thought we have to go all out for this one.
I don't think so. I think they had an idea initially for the first couple of years, and the ratings and everything weren't particularly great. The storylines weren't particularly great, so they kind of had a bit of a redo from season 3, season 4, and they brought in Michael Dorn, who played Worf in The Next Generation at the beginning of season 4 to freshen up the cast, and it was from that moment on really. There's a particular episode that I would always recommend. If anyone said one episode you recommend, and it's in season 6, and there's a Romulan ambassador that they have to try and switch over to their side of the war because they're losing the war, the Federation's losing the war, and it's this whole conspiracy theory episode where I don't want to say any more than that, but it's not like watching Star Trek, it's like watching Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. It's so well written, so well acted. Check it out if you can. I can't bloody remember the name off the top of my head now, it's doing my head in, but yeah, I love this show. And it's something that I watch every single day, pretty much. It's on when I fall asleep, and it's on when I wake up again in the morning.
Really? See, like, have you seen it, Stu? This one?
I have, yeah, and I've got to agree with Martin. It is the best Star Trek. It is just.
Then why is Palps fighting this then? Why can Martin be so wrong? Do you know what I mean?
Palps is an original Trek, man. He's an original Trek.
Is it? Yeah.
No, I think that what I like about this is the fact that, like Martin said, it is set on a space station. So and I think the character building over the course of the series and stuff like that, it's just really it's awesome. And there's some really great episodes. I mean, there's one episode where they sort of like go back in time and actually meet the crew of the original Enterprise with Kirk,
such a good episode
and stuff like that. And
when is this set, Stu and Martin? What timeline is it say?
This is set just after Star Trek the Next Generation, after Picard and stuff like that. So they link it. So you've got the Enterprise at Deep Space Nine, and the Battle of Worf 259. Is it 259?
Yeah, 359. Sorry, yeah.
Sorry, 359.
DS9 is the best Trek. Completely agree. Sisko is my favourite captain. Apologies to Stu. You were great in Next Generation. Even Goldie-Tron.
No, just getting it from all angles. Yeah.
So he was the captain, was he? Right?
Yeah. And I mentioned earlier that I get really nervous about meeting people, and he was one of the. I went to this convention, Star Trek convention, and all 5 of the captains from all 5 of the shows were there. So we had William Shatner, Patrick Stewart, what's her name, Janeway, Captain Archer, and Disco, and I completely didn't go to Patrick Stewart, wasn't interested. I didn't go to William Shatner. For me, it was Avery Brooks straight away. And he literally spent about 10 minutes just chatting to me about my favorite episodes. And he told me about the making of the show and everything. It was wow, what a great guy. And In the Pale Moonlight, thank you, Andy. That's the name of the episode. If anybody's like interested in like wanting to see what it's like, that's the episode.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. But I said that before. I mean, I never seen the original Star Trek, and I watched 2 episodes and I loved it, but I never went back to it. No. And you know, I remember VTR and Matt's always saying Next Generation, brilliant and so forth. But Deep Space Nine, I think, you know what my issue is with these sort of things? I don't know where to start. I don't know anything back and forth in this movie. Well, yeah, but there's like movies and stuff. And do you watch like first 2 seasons, then a movie, then 1 season?
No, the thing is, I was never really into sort of like Star Trek. I watched the original Star Trek films, like with Kirk and stuff like that, the Rafa Khan, the picture, blah blah blah. And then I watched Generations, and spoiler alert, but Kirk dies in it, and I thought, oh my god, I can't believe they've killed off an absolute like iconic legend. I mean, Kirk had been around forever, so that made me go back and watch the original Star Trek series from start to finish. And then I went on to the Next Generation, and then Deep Space Nine, and I kind of lost it through Voyager. I got to about season 3 of Voyager, and I couldn't watch any more of that.
See, I watched the Strange New Worlds. I watched the first 2 seasons of that, and I enjoyed it, but I haven't watched the 3rd one yet. I just haven't gone back to it. You know what I mean? I think I have to. Not that I'm not a massive Star Trek fan. I'm not, but I haven't seen anything on Star Trek. I mean, I've seen all of the original movies or whatever. Of course I have, but I'll give it a shot, definitely. Saying that, Babylon 5 was better in my opinion, says Jonathan.
Oh, I've not seen that one.
Yeah. Okay. I met Garak. Who's Garak?
He's basically a spy. Well, he used to be a spy, a Cardassian spy, but he got.
He was the tailor.
Yeah, he's a tailor on Deep Space Nine, but he used to be a spy on Cardassia, and he was basically kicked out of Cardassia. But it's a long story, Shabby.
Yeah.
Do you think? Because obviously at the time, also there's Babylon 5, Deep Space Nine. There was so many science fiction shows or whatever, and now you watch them now, like Doctor Who's gone downhill. Do you know what I mean? The latest Star Trek, people don't even talk about that Starfleet Academy and whatever. Do you think he'd ever come back to give you just as much emotion and sentimentality as these shows do?
Well, there was a documentary came out about 5 years ago called What We Left Behind, and it was a documentary taking place 20 years after this show finished, and they got all the cast back together, and they did a really clever thing right at the end of the documentary. They got all the original writers back and said, right, let's do season 8, episode 1. And you got to sit and watch in the writer's room, them put together and work out what they would do for season 8, episode 1.
Got you.
And it was phenomenal, Shabby. You knew they were never going to do it, but it was just an experiment to see what they would do if they were to ever redo it. And I was like, here's my money. You know, I don't care how much it costs.
Yeah. That makes
make
sense.
That episode that you just, all these guys are 20 years older, but it doesn't matter. Make that episode now, please. I want it. And it was so nice in Picard season 3, where Deep Space Nine got a few shout outs as Easter eggs during that final season. So I would love it if they went back to making Star Trek like this again.
I think you're right, though, in a way, because it is, and I don't want to get political at all, but the problem is, stick to what it is. It's a space fantasy, sci-fi, and all that. When you start putting real world stuff in it, it kind of, that's not what we watch these for, do we? Do you know what I mean?
We watch it for escapism, don't we? Do you know,
100%, Stu.
It's just light entertainment, stuff like that.
I love Deep Space Nine, but the original series, Generation, Voyager, and Enterprise are all brilliant in my opinion. Yeah. And then you've got onto these. Ooh, look at that.
Yeah, see, these are things that I've seen these at toy fairs before, and I have picked up a few of these. These are Playmates, I think, and again they look pretty terrible, but I want to collect the entire crew of the original cast, or the cast of Deep Space Nine, just because again I want to have that memory shelf of toys to remind me of one of my favorite shows. But they've also just started to release these, and these are nacelle toys.
Yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, they look brilliant.
Again, these are incredibly good. I'll be picking all of the Deep Space Nine ones they release of these in the future. So yeah, they do have quite a lot of toys you can collect for these. So yeah, there's definitely going to be.
So this is your collection now. These ones here, Martin.
No, those are just examples I found for pictures. So I've only got 2 or 3. Two of these, but as I say, I'd like to collect what you see there. I think there's the original crew in that picture. I'd like to get those just for one of my shelves, just to, as I say, just for my love of the show, really, more than anything else.
That's cool.
That goes for quite a lot of money now.
Does it?
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic as a toy. I think you just got like 1 or 2 buttons on it that you press and it makes a stupid noise. But a boxed one is quite expensive. But
hey, maybe Steph's brother's got one. Steph's brother's the best collector from all of us. He's got everything.
I'll check the stables. Yeah.
Check the stables. See if Steph's brother's got. Can you imagine next time you have? Look what I found. He sat there going, "What?" Absolutely brilliant. Deep Space Nine. Did you get into Star Trek toys, Stu? Like the actual? Because the reason I say it's because I watched Toy Fair and I saw the nacelle booth. And I saw the Star. Yeah. Now I never buy. I've got one Star Trek. The recent Enterprise that they did a couple of years back, and it was on sale on in Walmart for it was $50. Okay. It was on for like 18, so I bought it. But other than that, no. Have you?
Well, no. I so back in the 80s and early 90s, I used to collect the model kits, the Enterprise and the Enterprise D, and a few of the others, and then I've moved those on. But I think I must have been about 14, 15, my mum and dad got us the original Star Trek series bridge crew. So the box was part of the display. You got a big window and you've got the bridge and all that sort of stuff. You got the figures in there. And of course, me not being the collector I am now, I took it out and binned the box, absolutely gutted. So I've still got the figures and the stands, but I did see that bridge crew at Deejaland in Orlando. They had like a toy fair going on there. And I'd love to get that. I'm just not going to be able to get it in my suitcase.
I think Playmates went out with Star Trek like they did with the Power of the Force too. They're everywhere, weren't they? They properly went into it. Yeah. So
you always see them at Sandown and other toy fairs.
And are they expensive or the?
Oh no,
not overly. No. Not overly.
I've been raised to strongly dislike Star Trek thanks to Destiny. I love that movie.
Fanboys,
look at him proud of it. Look at him proud of the fact, Podbasic Camp said, started with the OG Trek, then moved on to 1 to 6, then stopped, right? Okay. Not into modern Trek, but I've much enjoyed. Yeah, I've enjoyed Strange. I agree with that, Goji. I enjoyed Strange New, especially
Spock's wife.
I know that's what you've got in common with that. I remember the first saw and I was like, should have watched Star Trek. I was never a fan of the Ferengi until I met Quark. Is he making these words up? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's an interesting point he made. When I was younger and I watched Star Trek, whenever a Ferengi episode came on, I'd be like, "Oh, I wasn't that bothered." But now now as an older person, I actually think they're the best episodes. They're comedy gold, absolutely brilliant.
Retros here, all the Aussies are up. Brilliant, Matt's collections here. Wow, we've had so many people turn up tonight. It's been ridiculous. Morn was a nod to Cheers, the show. Yeah. Morn was always at Quirk's Bar, like Norman Cheers, right? And he's got all the Deep Space Nine. Well, I'm not surprised by that. Are you? Are you too surprised by that? Really? No, I'm a big fan of Play Trek. I think Scott Whitehouse was getting into the nacelle as well. He's got bought 1 or 2 of them as well. Yeah. And then they've done that thing, haven't they, where you can get the actual one of the ships.
The bridge,
the bridge. Is it turns into that's how much I know about Trek. Have you heard me trying to make it out?
Sorry, sick bay, I think. Yeah, sick bay.
John, are you going to pick up any of the new nacelle? Yeah, I like them. How much are they? About 25. Are they quid?
Oh, I think they were $19.99. So $25.
That's not bad at all. That's all right. Because I bought these sectars off them, and they went down. They started at $25. They all went down to $8. Every one of them. I think I got VTR one when he was here because they were so cheap. Do you know what I mean? So, wouldn't mind collecting the Playmates. The Next Generation line says VTR. Well, I suppose it's classed as vintage now, isn't it, boys? It must be.
The Next Gen would be because it was still 80s when it came out, I think. So
we had a talk before about Star Wars and the Mandalorian, and look who Stu's best mate is right here.
Oh wow!
Now that is an iconic. I mean, Sigourney Weaver, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just you see her as Ellen Ripley in Alien, then you see her in Aliens, and then you see her again in Alien 3. She was in Ghostbusters, and just to I loved the movie Alien and Aliens. I mean, I can remember when my dad first bought Aliens home on the video cassette when from the video store,
right?
And he let me sit down and watch it. And I was just like gobsmacked, and I thought she was absolutely superb. And I thought, what a fantastic, character and stuff like that. And to actually meet her as well, again, she was very quietly spoken though. She really was very, very quietly spoken. So again, not too much conversation going on there. I managed to get the photograph. Didn't get the autograph because that would have cost around about probably 250, 260 quid.
Wow.
But this is where the money starts to sort of like go up now. But so we did have a nice big smile on her face, and then Sigourney looks like she's kind of stopped smiling because at that time the guy went to take the photo. Georgie stuck her head down the curtain and said, "Stay away from him, you bitch." That's a bit rude, isn't it? Look at the person on my face.
You can just see Georgie saying it, can't you? Man?
Yeah.
You see her there going, "What?"
Maybe with her loader.
Oh,
Again, it's just one of those iconic women.
100%, Stu.
The movies and stuff like this. She's just incredible.
And I suppose as well, because obviously you're an adult meeting her right there, but this is a woman we've known and heard of and seen all our childhoods. Do you know what I mean? Every one of them. You know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, it's so graceful, but she's very quietly spoken, kind of like shy. She's like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine, thank you," and that kind of stuff. And what have you. So she, but just to meet her was just absolutely incredible.
I suppose that it would blow me away meeting her. Like, wow, do you know what I mean? It would blow me away. But what do you think of her, Martin? Do you like it?
I mean, Aliens is probably in my top 5 favorite films of all time. Again, it's one of those movies that I can, if it's on TV or it's on a streaming service, I'll just click it on and watch it. I think it's probably one of the most perfect films that they've ever made. And she's a huge part of that film, if not the biggest part. I absolutely think she's great. But I think Palps has put it in the chat as well. I often forget that she's obviously Dana Barrett as well in Ghostbusters. And
she is,
And
Gwen DeMarco from Galaxy Quest, she was brilliant. She was sexy in Galaxy Quest.
She is that. That iconic actress from our childhood, isn't she? Every film that we love, she was in.
She played Diane Fossey as well, didn't she? She played Diane Fossey. Yes. She's been. I can't remember her character in. Oh bloody hell! What's that? Avatar. She was in Avatar.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yes, she was. You're right. Yeah.
She still
is.
Actually,
I think you'll find Georgie bought that photo opposite present, Stu. I think you'll find.
Oh well, I've been known to be wrong every now and again.
It's funny the way they promoted her in Mando, and she was in it for. I think I was in Mando longer than she was. She did it that much, was she? Talk about getting paid for nothing. It's like watching that Gina Carano fight the week before. Thanks, 1.7 million for But she is. Go on, Stu.
Absolutely, she's absolutely quality, and like I said, very, very fortunate. And it's like I can't think of anybody now. Well, I can. That I would spend a great deal of money on to go and meet and stuff like that. So we've been to where was it? Celebration in 2023. We've been to these other places and stuff like that. And it's normally when me and Georgie went to these things, it was about going to get the autographs and the signature.
Yes, sir.
That. So the last one me and Georgie went to get a photograph with, that was Charlie Cox from.
That was cool. Yeah,
he was superb, but we couldn't get his autograph, so we managed to get a photo, and then we hopefully we'll meet him again to get the autograph. And the other one is Vincent D'Onofrio, because I just think he's absolutely superb as Kingpin. I think he's brilliant, and John Bernthal as the Punisher. That would be that would be it. I don't think I want to see anybody else after that.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, I agree with what G-Force is saying here, where all the female right here. Exactly. When they all start coming out with it now, I think you didn't grow up in the 80s like us boys did. You know what I mean? Yeah. Speaking of Avatar, I love how most people can't name a cat. You know what, Jono? That to me is the most, out of all pop culture, that's the most baffling to me. How you read on the news, it's the biggest ever selling movie. The highest got. I don't know anyone who talks about it, who sees it, who collects the figure. Nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's weird how Avatar's like. Sometimes I think, is it as big as it was?
You see the first one, and I went to go and see it in 3D, and I've got to say, absolutely stunning. It is just so vibrant. It looks absolutely brilliant. But you see the first one, but you kind of then you know the second one's pretty much the same, but in water.
I watched the first one, and I've got to admit, I came out like. And I've never watched any of this. Have you, Martin? Have you watched Avatar?
I adore the Avatar movies.
Do you?
I think they're fantastic. And I totally agree with Stu. The second movie is the first movie, but with water. But it didn't matter. I obviously loved it.
Yeah.
Watching the first Avatar in 3D was one of the most. You have few experiences in your life at the cinema that you'll always remember. That will be one of them for me.
Yeah,
it was bonkers. I had no idea 3D could be anything like that, and I was fully in for 3D. Unfortunately, after that movie, they never made a good 3D movie. But I actually genuinely love the Avatar movies. The last one, was it Ash and Fire or Fire and Ash or something?
Yeah,
that one I wasn't overly keen on, but I did really, the first one especially, I absolutely loved that.
I might go back to him. Like I said, I've only ever seen Avatar, the first one, once when it came out. That was it. I never saw any of the others, and it's just always baffled because, like I say, you click on YouTube, boys, and you see everything about everything except Avatar.
Yeah, it's got no pop culture to it whatsoever. I totally agree with that. It's just a film that I enjoy. It's
if he did, which he won't, love to meet Harrison Ford and Bryce Dallas Howard and her dad Ron. Ron Howard would be cool to meet. Bryce Dallas, I agree with that, Georgie. I really do. Let's have a look. That's not because it's a pop culture movie, Shabby. It's a 3D movie event. The film itself has nothing to do with how much it makes, just the spectacle of the experience. Right? Okay, they do look good. I've got to admit, when you see the trailers or whatever, you're like, wow, it blows you away how good they look. I watched it once and I'm the same. I'm JT. I'm exactly the same as you. Just I'll never get over those aliens. I love the Fifth Element.
What, Matt? Are you crazy?
You're taking the piss, Matt. That's a great movie. Yeah, he is. Got to be. I enjoy the visuals from Avatar. Vintage Toywood says, I was surprised to see her in Paul, one of my son's favourite movies when he was about 8. I swear it. Yeah, I remember that. It was Seth Rogen, wasn't it, that was in Paul? And no, it was Simon Pegg, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
His mate.
Fern Gully completely spoiled the plot of Avatar. Fern Gully, what's that? Fern Gully.
Oh my God, I know Fern Gully. Yeah.
Look at him. I love the Fifth Element. The plot of Fifth Element. It's not good. It's awesome. What do you mean? Anyway, we better change it quick before we kick off with Matt's collection. Here's your number 2.
Brilliant.
It's the joke that never gets old. I told this story before. Connor, bless him. So good old Fuller's Figures. He makes the clips and stuff. And I asked him, "Can you do a top 5 for me?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Could you just do one more?" Embedded for life, Martin. Embedded for life. Absolutely brilliant. Number 2, Martin. This.
Okay. The West Wing. This for me is one of the greatest. I've said this about every single one of them, I know, but the West Wing is such a good show. It's brilliant. I don't want to get all political, but it's a series where it's a world where everybody does the right thing or tries to do the right thing, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. It's written by Aaron Sorkin, and he's done a lot of theatre in America, and he did The American President, the movie, which was kind of a soft pilot for this, if you like. He also did an amazing television series called The Newsroom. This Martin Sheen as the president is I'd have him as my president tomorrow. He's absolutely awesome in this role. Every single one of those actors is a theatre trained actor in a TV.
Yeah, I mean, look at that cast. Look at it.
Yeah, network television TV show, and a lot of them made their names in this show. It's a pretty much a story of the week show, which is something I don't normally like, but it's just brilliantly acted. The stories are fantastic. It's got some really shocking moments. There's a what happens at the end of season 1 is so good that having to wait. I think it's probably the most painful year I've ever had to wait to find out what happened in the second series. it's absolutely incredible show. And there's not a weak link in this show, I would say. But most of all, the thing I love, I'm not a huge fan of comedy. I don't tend to watch comedy movies that much, or comedy sitcom shows and stuff like that.
Why does Martin hate laughter?
Yeah, I know, I'm terrible. But what I do love is when they have a really good written show that has comedy in it, that complements the great writing and the great story. And this has this hands down. You are sometimes you're in tears of laughter with this show, and it's not meant to be like a comedy, but the writing is so clever that they start a joke 5 minutes into the episode, and they you've got it in your mind, and about 20 minutes later that they do the punchline in such a way that you didn't see it coming, and it's absolutely incredible show. Does it hold up now? Again, I watch this show pretty much every year if I can. It's you can never be bored of it, and every time you watch it, there's something new you notice about it as well, and there's a new character nuance that you pick up on. And there's no action figures for this one, just spoiler alert. But yeah, again, if of all the shows that I've said tonight, I would recommend all of them. But again, this one would be for the long haul for me. Once you start that first episode, you are hooked. And I dare anybody to tell me that they watched the first episode and then didn't continue watching, because I, like anybody who was a young 20-year-old, started watching this show and thought, a political program about the president, but after watching the first episode, I devoured the entire first season on VHS back then in about 2 days. It's so good.
You ever seen this, Stu? You ever seen it, West Wing?
Of course he hasn't.
No, I know of it, and
I remember watching it.
No, well, I hadn't. The reason I didn't watch it is because at that time it came out, I wasn't really into sort of like political sort of stuff. I just felt I'd find it boring. I still kind of do, but the older I get, the more intrigued I am to watch it. And I think the closest thing I've come to watching, political wise, is a show called Designated Survivor.
Right.
So he did, he wrote a Few Good Men as well. Yeah.
Yes,
what's Designated Survivor? What's that?
So that's about where Capitol Hill gets blown up. The presidency gets taken out. The whole of Congress gets taken out.
Yeah.
And then this lowly guy who's part of the Congress and stuff like that, who wasn't there, he then gets made up to be president because he is next in line after about 400 other people have been sort of taken out. So then he becomes president, and it's Kiefer Sutherland. So yeah, that was really good. Seasons 1 and 2 I thought were really cool, but season 3 I think they sort of tried to change it up a bit, and it didn't work for me. But
I'm intrigued about the West Wing. See, I went the flip side of the West Wing. I loved House of Cards.
House of Cards. It would have nearly made my top 5. I love it.
But it was a completely, even though it's the same the same ratio, it was a completely different show. They went the other side where West Wing was America will do good and always the best in people and that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, this is the utopia. This series, it's the utopia of how they want how America, the liberals, I would say, would probably want America to be like. Yeah. But watching this show, it got me interested in politics to the point where when it finished, I nearly considered doing a political degree because I was that interested in politics, and it taught me about how the American political system works.
I love it. It's funny because you'll be all watching House of Politics, but over here they're all it's like a soap opera. And when you watch the news or whatever, it's dead. They make it really. I love it over here, the American politics. It's fascinating to me.
House of Cards is a very good shout, actually. This is the lovely politics, and that's the dastardly, but yeah. Damn it,
West Wing, though. West Wing. I don't know. West Wing was pretty. It's like I say, West Wing was a good one. And how long did it run for? West Wing.
7 seasons again.
7 again. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think you'll watch it, Stu? Do you think you'll give it a shot? West Wing.
Well, I'll never say never. it's not going to be top of my list. Let's put it that way. But I hope I'll get around to.
Do you know, Stu, what makes me laugh is the fact I just said I love the politics in America and so forth. And Matt Collection writes, politics is Hollywood for ugly people. Thanks a lot for that, Matt. Can't please anyone, can you? Brilliant. Oh, brilliant. Look at this. Look at this. Hey? Not bad at all.
See my lightsaber?
I don't like him now. I've got to admit, he's a bit of a disco biscuit, and let's be honest. But meet Mark.
So this was 2016. This was Star Wars Celebration in London, and this was meant to be for Georgie. So I got an autograph package for the photo and the autograph with Mark Hamill, and so we got his autograph, and as we got in the queue, we were next in line. The queue stopped, and he was going off to do photos. I said, "Oh, for goodness sake!" And I said, "Go on, Georgie, go." And she goes, "No, you go. It'll mean more to you." So bless her. I went and had my photograph taken with him, and when Star Wars first came out, you never ever imagine meeting up with these people.
Yeah,
we're not going out we're not best buddies or anything like that. It's just a hello, how you doing? But to actually get to be in his vicinity, close to him like that, I just said thank you. I said you have no idea. I said this means a lot. Thank you so much. And you've just
that's our childhood right there, Stu Martyn, right there.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just I mean, he wasn't feeling great. He came and sat down and did the autographs and stuff like that. And oh, for goodness sake!
I'll tell you a story. So 2003, I'm in the suit game, as you both know.
Yeah.
And sorting out these suits, and someone was coming in for an order of 3 Egyptian cotton shirts, which are pricey shirts, man. I think they start about 160 and go up from there. So I've got these laid out, and all of a sudden this bloke comes in. I'm looking at this bloke thinking, and it's him, Mark Hamill. And he was in Virginia. He was doing a play in Virginia, and I couldn't believe it. And it's funny as well, because at the time there was no I remember phoning our side from the office, go, "You're never gonna believe it." But because of the job I did or whatever, I couldn't fanboy, if you will, and that was the hardest thing for me ever. But he came in, and he wears Egyptian cotton shirts back in 2003. But what a lovely fella. But it's like you say, I don't
now. I think he got far too political, and just keep stum. You're an actor.
It's a shame, really. Listen. I've always said I can tell the difference between an actor and a character. And so when people turn around and say about Han, Luke, and you can never replace them. Yes, you can replace them. Do you know what I mean? Like you've done with Bob. I've always been one of those people. But I'm not thick enough to not escape the fact that this guy, when we were kids, this was my idol as a kid. I mean, Luke Skywalker to me.
2016. So this was just after, I think it was after The Force Awakens was released. So he hadn't quite gone a bit back then, but. His finger. Yeah, absolutely. But it's just to meet him and just to, again, we thanked him, and he said it means a lot to us when we got the autograph and stuff like that. But this was for the autograph and the picture. It's
a great picture too, though, Stu. It's a great picture, that arm around each other. Do you know what I mean? No, it's a really good picture, that, mate. Yeah. Have you ever met him, Martin? Have you ever met Mark Hamill?
I haven't met him. I've seen him from afar a couple of times at Celebration. I've got his autograph, but it was one of those pre-prepared ones. But one, I think, sort of echoing what you both said, if I had the opportunity to meet him now, I probably wouldn't, because it would cost too much money, and B, I don't know. It's like he's gone a bit mad, doesn't it?
Sad, really. Well, it's not. Listen. I'm all for it. That's why I don't get kicked. About people's beliefs and it's up to them. It's their thing. But I think when it comes to entertainment like that, I'm here for that. I'm not here for, I don't care who you support, who you're following.
They're here to entertain us. That's the business they're in. Everybody's got freedom of speech and the right to say it. But I think really, it's like news broadcasters and stuff like that. They should be impartial. They should be balanced. They shouldn't be swinging one way or the other. And I think it should be the same for actors, because you know, a lot of kids are influenced by these people.
I think so. Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely. Hamill was in charge, but that goes to show the social media we live in, because as kids we didn't have all the Twitters and so we never saw them. So the only time we saw was on a trailer, lads, or basically on like a talk show. Like Blue Peter, when they all turned up on Blue Peter, you're like, what the France?
Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, as John was saying, he did charge an incredible amount of money. So
yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I do agree with that.
For the package.
Star Wars autographs get extra. Worth it though, isn't it? Really?
Oh yeah. Like I say, I don't think I would spend that much money on anybody other than Harrison Ford, I guess. But then that would just cost.
I agree, Stu. It would have to take someone that meant the world to me and whatever, you know, to spend that type of money. Do you know what I mean? But people do, don't they? I mean, people, you know, we've got so many people in our world, haven't we, that get all these autographs or whatever. And Super Awesome says, I think it's criminal to charge more than £100 for autographs. Really, anything more than 50 is ridiculous. I think it is up to the person though, isn't it? You don't have to spend that type of money, do you?
Well, yeah, it is. And I don't think it's I don't know if it's the actors themselves that are putting that price point on there. I think it's the event itself, because they're paying for the actor, then they've got to try and recoup that money back. So
I agree. I do agree. But this has been absolutely fun. Go on, Martin. Go on, my friend.
I was going to say, I equate it to Disney World. Disney World, the prices go up every 3 months.
That's what puts me off going, mate. Do you remember when you were saying, "Oh, Shabby, come and meet us"? And I was like, "I've got 4 kids. It cost me a fortune." You know.
And I always, and me and Steph would say, "Oh, no, surely it's going to get to the point where no one's going to pay, so they're going to have to reduce them." But the thing is, people pay. So if nobody all clubs together and says we're not going to pay it, they're just going to keep putting the price up. And I think that equates the same to autographs. The day that they do a celebration and all the prices are so extortionate that nobody buys them, then they'll have to reduce them.
Well, I saw the prices. Gary, I was talking to Gary Moore and I saw the prices, how much he spent for Star Wars Celebration. I was like, wow.
No, that is mad.
Wow. Anyway, let's get to your number ones. I'd like to thank everybody that came in tonight. We're up to 35, 40 now, and we've had 50 all night. So thank you all so much. You know what I mean? Thanks for supporting me, Martin and Stu. It's people like yourselves that watch us streamers and us that keeps us going. So I really, really appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much. Right, number one, Martin.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
This is
look at her.
Absolutely groundbreaking.
Look at her.
Amazing show. And there you go. There's Trisha Helfer, dead center there. Stu's.
I don't know. Is she better as a blonde or a brunette? A brunette, Stu. What do you reckon?
I don't know. That red dress, it just.
In fact, there's 2 of Stu's there. You've got Starbuck on the right as well.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I mean, there she is.
There was a TV movie of this that came out in 2003, and I'd just lost my job at this point, and I was living in a shared house, and I had nothing to do, so I went to the DVD store and I saw Battlestar Galactica TV movie on the shelf, and I thought, oh, it's not the original 80s Battlestar Galactica. What's going on there? I hadn't heard about it at all. I didn't know it was being made. So I picked it up. I thought, I'm doing nothing all day today. It's 3 hours and 10 minutes long. I'll buy it and I'll go home and I'll just sit and watch it. I sat and watched it. And then as soon as it finished, I brought the menu up and hit play immediately straight again. And it's the first and only time I've probably ever done that in my life. I watched it immediately after finishing it. It's an absolute masterpiece of a television show. And that's just the TV movie. Then we get to the actual series proper, which didn't come out for a couple of years after the TV movie because they weren't sure whether they were going to make it or not. It's a product of its time. The early 2000s, there was the war in Iraq that was going on, and they took a lot of real world things and put it into the show, but not in a preachy way. They did it in such a way that it made you question things. So the good guys became the bad guys, and the bad guys became the good guys. And there was always this line about who would take the right side of things. And towards the end of the show, without giving too much away, it got to the point where everybody was just out for themselves pretty much because there was nothing left. There was no hope left in their life. It's quite a dark show. I'm not going to lie. It's not all not like the original Battlestar Galactica where it's, episode of the week where they go to a planet and have a happy old time. And, everybody's like, you go back and you see Boxy and Daggett, there's none of that. There's none of that.
The Cylons look cool on this poster though. They look really cool.
The Cylons are awesome. They have human models of Cylons in this show as well. So the initial first couple of seasons, you don't know who's a Cylon. Well, actually, that's
cool. That's a cool.
All the way through, you don't know who's a Cylon, who isn't. There's the chap just to the right of Starbuck. There is James Callis. Now he played Boltar, who obviously you remember from the original show, and he plays quite a similar character to Boltar in the original show, but he is hands down my favorite character in this, and his relationship with Six, the Cylon Six in the red dress, is just it's absolutely incredible. It's so funny, but also really serious at the same time. You feel like when you're watching the military in this show, like it was a properly thought out military. There was none of this, everything that they did in it, you feel like they must have had a military advisor, because it feels like a proper warship, doesn't it, Stu? Everything on there has procedure. Honestly, I know we're 2 hours 25 minutes in, but if you don't stop me, we'll be 3 hours 25.
Flown by though, hasn't it, boys? Flown by.
This is just, sorry to repeat myself, if you have not seen this show, throw the other 5 choices that I've given you tonight
in the bin. Watch this one.
Watch this. It is hands down my greatest television show that's ever been made. I've just finished a couple of weeks ago a rewatch of this, and without fail, every time I get to the end of the rewatch, I can't watch the last 3 episodes, because in my mind I'm like, it'll be over. What am I going to do? Because it's that good, honestly. Every character in it, and it's a huge ensemble cast in this, and lots of them play multiple characters as well. Do you want me to hand over to Stu, because Stu's probably got some great...
Oh no, before you hand over to Stu, I wanted to show you this.
Okay.
Disagree. The first season isn't even science fiction. So what do you think to that?
100% disagree.
100% disagree, man.
Disagree. I mean, I love Sags to bits, but on this, I've got to be...
You're just wrong, Sags. You're just wrong. Do you know what I mean? Went downhill dead fast, and season 2 was so good and promising.
No. So they only did 4 seasons. 4 seasons of it. And I think, in my opinion, and I'm going to side with Martin here, I think it's some of the best written TV and acted as well, because every person acted their socks off. Just absolutely brilliant. They were so believable. Like I say, the twist. Oh God! I mean, towards the end, I was just like, wow! It just really blew my mind and blew me away when I found out who the final 6 were, or the final.
So this is definitely worth watching. Then this is something. The way you two are selling it is brilliant. So
the way they film
the original series is like really, like you say, like light-hearted and stuff. But this is down to earth. This is.
Can you compare it to this, Stu and Martin? Because he says he still prefer it, but it's like chalk and cheese, basically.
It's like chalk and cheese.
No,
it's like chalk and cheese.
The way they filmed the special effects is they had a slight grain, and they used like handheld cameras to film the action scenes. So even though it's 20 years old now, because they filmed it that way, the special effects actually hold up quite well. They're not fantastic, because it's obviously a sci-fi channel show. But as I say, I just finished the rewatch. Oh, and the music as well. The music in this show. I when I'm like working or whatever, I'll have the soundtrack to this on, because it's some of the most beautiful but also hard-hitting music you've ever heard in your life. Brilliant, absolutely.
Who
brilliant.
made it? Who was there a producer attached to this?
Ronald D. Moore created this show, who also created Deep Space Nine and wrote on Next Generation. And he have you ever heard of a series called Outlander?
Yeah.
Yep, he did that as well. Lucy Lawless is in this as well. I mean,
yeah,
no,
look at Hoppy. After everything you two just said about the story, the this and that, he goes all the bath scenes. Battlestar Galactica was a great show, but I agree the ending was a little bit dodgy. I have all these, the movies, the series.
I didn't mind that. I thought
it was good. Yeah,
it really threw me because it was such a twist towards the end. But the end scene, there was a certain bit, and it just made me well up. I was like, I got so emotional over it, and I was like, oh wow. Okay, and then
Gilster says here it didn't fall apart like Lost. Hi, Gilster, by the way. He said he liked it, so he didn't mind it.
One thing I would say is the final scene. I won't say what it is, but 20 years ago, it didn't hit as hard as if you watch that scene now with what's going on with technology in the world. Right. That's all I'm going to say. But now it actually is more pertinent to the world we live in today than it was back then. That's foresight. It's brilliant. Absolutely.
Do you two boys watch this? For All Mankind? I love it.
Oh, that's another great show. Yeah,
another great show. I agree with that, Matt's collection. Yeah, I really do. So then what we've got here is stuff like this.
Oh, yeah, this is Eagle Moss. And I've seen these at Sandown every time I go.
Yeah.
And I nearly bought Stu one of these for his 50th birthday, but the guy I was going to buy it off sold the last one. So sorry about that, Stu. But next time I go to Sandown, if the stall that's got these every single time, I'm going to start collecting the Battle Stars because I absolutely love these. Yeah, they're awesome.
Are they like miniature ships then or something, or are they big? I couldn't work it out with the picture.
Yeah, they're the Battle Stars. They're like the main motherships in the show, and
they're like giant aircraft carriers, aren't they, in space?
Yeah, they're fairly big. I mean, it looks small in that picture, but they're probably a good, I don't know, 30 centimeters long, so they're pretty big.
When you get spaceships right, though, boys, I mean, it's just we become little lads, don't we? Like, look at that!
Look at it, it's so cool looking. I love it. I never thought that you could beat the original design of the Galactica and the battleships and stuff like that. But then you see this, updated version, you just think, oh, that is just. Awesome.
Well, if you didn't get him that ship because it'd run out, get him this. I think he'd like it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. These are Diamond Select toys. Again, they're not the best, but again, I'm determined if I come across these, I'm going to get a few. Probably Boltar and Six, to be honest with you. I'm only going to get those two, but again, I just want for memories really of the show that I love so much.
It's an awesome show. Awesome, it really is.
Apollo.
How cool.
The outfits are pretty cool too. Did they keep the same? It's like the Viper was the same, or the same kind of,
They kept the original Viper, but they did have a Mark II Viper, which was a more advanced Viper. But yeah, I mean, the aesthetics of the show are quite close to the original. I mean, you can tell that looks like the original Galactica, but a bit more modern. But that's literally about as much of they took from the original show. But yeah, Shabby, you've got to check it out, mate. You've got to
the way you've done it for me, you know what I mean? I love stuff like that. I think I remember her in that red dress walking down a corridor. I remember that at the start. I seem to start them off. But what year was this then? What year did this all come
2003 out? Was the mini series. I think it was 2004 maybe for the series proper.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, and they sing, besides our SAGs, I think everybody in the thing said, they enjoyed Battlestar Galactica, the reboot. So look at this. Beautiful picture. He was so sad. I remember that she wrote a book called The Princess Diarist, and I bought it, and it came out 2 days after she died. After she died. And I remember reading that book in bed, and it meant so much more to me reading that because of what happened than you know what I mean, if I just got it. But this woman,
this was 2015, so we'd met her at Olympia. No, it wasn't Olympia, it was Earl's Court, so it was a London Film and Comic Con, so we met her there. And Georgie, again, bless her, bought me this photo opportunity for my birthday, and so we got the signature. And then it's funny because in 2016 at Celebration, Georgie then got to meet Carrie Fisher as well, which I'm absolutely delighted for. But so when you go in for these photo ops and stuff like that, you don't know how they're going to be. So I just stood there, and she just came straight in, arms around us, like grabbed my jumper and just gave us a big hug. And my thought is, fuck me, I'm hugging Princess Leia.
You know what a great way to say it. Yeah, exactly right.
Mad. And she's aged, but who cares? She was just an absolute iconic woman. And even when we're getting the autograph, she was going, look, just shush. I'm writing, and this is very, very important. So she put Stuart and Georgie, the Han and Leia of Surrey. And I thought that is so sweet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just absolute nutcase of a woman. She had Gary the dog there as well. And then obviously we saw her again in 2016. So to see her in back-to-back years was pretty cool. But then when she just passed away, it was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, it was heartbreaking, wasn't it? She was ill and then her mum passed away like 2 days after or something, didn't she? Yeah.
And then you said about Leia's theme. Well, they played Leia's theme at Celebration 2016 in Orlando, and John Williams was there doing it. And
it's my favourite. Like we said at the start,
more emotional hearing it than
100%. And it's funny that because we're at that age now when people are, the people we grew up with are going and whatever. And I always think it's sad but this hit me harder dying. It did. It was like, wow. Do you know what I mean? It's,
and the thing is as well, when you see them, I always imagine her, and I can, I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram or Facebook, where the AI images of how they looked when they were younger, and then they take the mask off, and it's how they look now, or how they look now, and they take the face mask off, and it's when they're younger. People like Brad Pitt in their 60s, Johnny Depp in their 60s, people like Michelle Pfeiffer in their 60s, Julia Roberts in their 60s. These are people that we grew up with. Harrison Ford in his 80s.
I agree. 100%
you never ever think of them getting old.
No.
And I always remember something that VTR said to me, the morbid son of a gun. We were at Sandown Toy Fair, and we're walking in, and we're coming back from the restaurant. He said, when the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, they start to pop their clogs, he said, we're next. We're next.
Thanks for that, VTR.
Wow.
I thought that is really groovy.
But he's at home now going, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Do you know what I mean?
But, honest to God, I've just so made up with.
I'll never, one of my fondest memories of away from Star Wars was that Star Wars celebration where she gave that guy a big kiss and they fell on the floor and she was still, that must have made his. I don't think he'll ever forget. This big fat guy with a big beard, and the way she kissed him and he fell over kissing, I just thought, this woman is a legend. Do you know what I mean?
She was incredible, an incredible lady. She was a genius when it comes to comedy. She was just, she had her vices, she had her issues. You can forgive that because at the end of the day, she was upfront and honest about them and stuff like that. And she was just an incredible person.
Well, yeah, you agree with that. With all the trouble and the vices that she had, she's the first to tell you. She's the first to say. And it's the way she went around it. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
And she got older and older and older. And, of course, as she got older, the look started to deteriorate. And people were, like, messaging her saying, what's happened? What's wrong with you? And she goes, well, I've just got older. It's just age.
Yeah, she's beautiful. I always, to me, we all had a little crush on Carrie Fisher, of course. But to me, it was her in Return of the Jedi, and not in the slave outfit. When she was in the Endor outfit, her eyes were so pretty. 100%. She was so pretty when she was talking to Wicket, and she takes the hat off, and I thought, that woman is just super pretty.
Talking about the slave outfit, she did have that on underneath her robe there.
Did she? Yeah.
She said, put yourself away, Jimmy. There's a good girl. But
it's hard to believe. Yeah, 10 years. 10 years.
It's mad.
That was right. It was after Rogue One, wasn't it? Because Last Jedi hadn't come out, and we knew at the time, boys, that the focus was on her, wasn't it, for the Last Jedi? And we were like, well, how are they going to do this? Yeah. But 10 years already, JT. That's amazing. Yeah. Loved Carrie, James Earl Jones. That's a great one as well. When he comes out with that. Carrie, you know what I mean? Awesome live stream tonight. Shabby Martyn, Stu, and everyone in the chat. Take care. Well, thanks, Kieran. I appreciate that. Funny episode. Yeah. So there you have it. There are Stu and Martyn's top 5. Not bad at all, boys. It's been brilliant. You kids got anything coming up that you want to talk about?
Sorry, I didn't know you didn't. I thought you were going into like a break or something like that with your music. So that's why I went silent.
Dead. I love that Captain Scarlet thing. I've always loved it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've got another live stream coming up on Saturday.
Oh, Star Wars! You're doing it with a couple of people on that.
Star Wars, yeah. So I'm doing it with Alison, bless her, because she's a big Star Wars fan, and I'm doing it with a guy that's going to be new to the channel called Adam, and he's from the channel highly articulated. And he's been on a live stream with Alison before, and I've sort of like said hello and stuff like that. And he's openly said that me and him have big differences in the opinions of Star Wars. So
that's always a good thing, though. I kind of like them, though. And the thing about our group of lads is we're always respectful. We're always respectful about it. If you have a disagreement with somebody, you were not kicking off and falling out over a disagreement over a fantasy movie. But there's nothing like a good debate about, what one person says and what another. I'm laughing so hard, maybe morbid, but Stu has.
I'm never going to forget that, Dave. I'm never going to forget that.
I still maintain Martin's spirit level should have been in his. Cheers, Mr. B. Martin, have you got anything coming up? You see, you're getting 40,000 plus views, man. You know what I mean? It's
back down to earth with a heavy bump on Friday.
You want to tell those people what? What's this? You know what I mean?
Back down to heavy with a heavy bump on Friday. We've got our final episode of top 10 most wanted TVC. Because we had Maul come out recently, so we've got that coming out on Friday.
Right. Well, that's absolutely brilliant. We'll all tune in for that. We'll definitely. What time's yours, Stu? 3 o'clock, 8 o'clock?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 8 p.m. UK time. Right. I've got to say thank you, by the way, Shabby, messaging me on the other morning.
I don't want to be one of those actually, but I know what it's like when you stream because people do it to me, and I appreciate that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, thank you.
The reason I work it out is because I'm the same as you. There's people all over the world that watch us. So if they see 3 a.m., I would have thought, oh, hang on a minute. So I just wanted to let you know. Because first of all, I was like, do I really want to be that bloke? Actually, Stu, you put the wrong date. No, I thought, no, I have to.
I'm glad you did, because I would have been sitting there and it would have been like, hang on, where you're supposed to be on. I'd be like, oh, bloody hell. So,
well, there's one bloke that'll be watching you on Saturday. We talk about Star Wars on a Saturday, Stu. Brilliant. I should look forward to that.
Talking Star Wars.
Stu is very understanding, or at least something about certain favourites of mine within Star Wars. There you go. Everyone's loved it tonight. I mean, and I can't believe how fast it's gone. ZSR on Friday, as you know, and I'll be back with top 5 on Monday. But I've got a surprise. I've got another top 5 coming this Saturday. Ooh. I've got the Keep Collecting lads are doing it on Saturday now. It's going to be 12:30 at night for you lot on a Saturday because obviously you know what it's like, Stu, when you talk to these Australians and stuff on different time zones. But so basically 7:30 Eastern time, which is American time, so 12:30 for you lads. I've got the Keep On Collecting lads on, so I can't wait for that. So that'll be coming on Saturday. But apart from that, it's been brilliant. Let's have a look. Great stream, boys. Awesome. Great show, lads. Got to rewatch it. Oh, well, thanks, Gilstray. Appreciate that. Awesome stream. Great drop. Top 5. I do apologize it has gone a bit longer, but look who I'm talking to. Right. Do you know what I mean? I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But anyway, please subscribe to these two boys if you haven't watched the latest YouTube streams and the YouTube videos. Do you know what I mean? Because they're good lads. They really are. Anyway, let's say goodnight, boys.
Good night, boys. Bye-bye.